All right, Book of Scrolls. This is Scrolls 1:8. These are the words to be spoken to those who peer from beyond the dark portal. His arm was ever ready to help those who did good for others, and he lent his power to those who ordered what was good. He stood for those who could no longer stand, and command for those who could no longer command. He carried the weary and succored the helpless. He never oppressed the weak, nor did he permit injustices to go unpunished and unrectified. Book of Scrolls, Chapter 1, The Sacred Registers, Part 1. Herein are recorded sacred things which should never be written, but the memory of a man is like a storehouse made of straw, or like a store pit dug in the sand. Even less enduring is his body, for it is a frail thing of fleeting substance, which passes away like the dew in the morning. And what of the mortal chain which links the generations in knowledge? Behold, it is a thing prone to distortion, a transmuter of tradition and truth. Therefore, when the command went forth from the Great One illuminated with wisdom and came to your servant, he saw fit to quell the doubts engendered by fear, and undertook to do the thing which had not been done before, placing trust fully in the protecting wings which are spread by the words issuing from the royal residence. These are the words spoken by the great interpreter, who, through the powers inherited by him from above and by the powers now in his keeping, are freely bestowed upon him by the grateful hearts of his people below, will lead us into the fields of everlasting glory. O exalted one, intermediate between gods and men, what we now do for you, do you for us. Let your deeds and your words become our words. Thus it ever was, and thus it will ever be, while mortal beings make pilgrimage through this valley of tears. Speak thus in your hour. The high-born one has not blasphemed the divine powers, nor has he paid undue homage to earthly desires. He has not been loud-mouthed in the sacred places, nor laughed when he should have been grave. His tongue is pure, for when fed with the words of men, he absorbs the truth and excretes falsehood. His mouth has never spewed forth words of malice or envy, words of oppression or injustice never passed his lips. Now look at the great dark water mirror and see what is reflected there from the mists swirling along the corridor of time. Seeing your place, make ready so that when the summons comes from the Dark One, you are not caught unprepared. These are the words to be spoken to those who peer from beyond the dark portal. His arm was ever ready to help those who did good for others, and he lent his power to those who ordered what was good. He stood for those who could no longer stand, and commanded for those who could no longer command. He carried the weary and succored the helpless. He never oppressed the weak, nor did he permit injustices to go unpunished and unrectified. He stood by the side of the great potter, and because of his plea, the clay was shaped into a more pleasing form. He erased disfiguring faults and smoothed the roughness, and he added stiffness to the mixture. He has done no evil. His words have always been true. He stands unashamed and fearless before the twin shrines, even as it was in the land of the great river. So let it be here. Let him not be cut off by distance. Let not his power be cut off, for he stands between the worlds. Let him flow out like living waters unto the living, and be as shining rays to the radiant ones. For here we see the power darkly, while beyond the horizon it shines brightly. He is everlastingly faithful in his heart, for he has admitted no other who would defile him. He has remained loyal to the sacred words and has diligently pursued the great writings. He has navigated the shallows of the winding waters. Now he draws near. He has left the kingdom of trail. He has overcome the challenges of life. He has done all the things written on the tablets of truth, and he has sojourned in the chambers of profound silence. He has done all the things which are proper and been reassured that he has followed the right path. He does not fear judgment. Let him reunite with the Supreme One who sent him forth so that he will not be separated from the waters of life. Let the holy heat enwrap him when he passes through the place of coldness. Let his nostrils inhale the breath of nourishment, that he may live and that we may partake of his existence. Do not repudiate him, but make him welcome. Do you not recognize the one you endowed with the power? Has he become too radiant? Is his form too glorious? Read what is written in the books of his heart. You set him in darkness, and he saw. You set him in silence, and he heard. You set him in emptiness, and he felt. You established him in nothingness, and he gathered substance. Therefore he returns with manifold powers. He is well fitted to be presented to those who stand before the Supreme One. When the bright sun shines with splendor in the day skies above, the gentle morning star hides her face in modesty and becomes unseen. All the great company of the radiant night lights draw before the majesty of the greater light. Yet when darkness eats the shining disk, we know again the comforting presence of the eternal stars. Let it be with your servant. The dark ones who dwell in their compatible gloom cannot claim him as one of their own. He cannot be numbered among their dreadful company. His heart is pure, his deeds were good. No creature spawned in murkiness has gained control of his thoughts. His desires have not been generated by denizens of the darkness. He who was afflicted here is not afflicted forever. He is made whole. He is freed from pain. His sickness has departed. He rejoices in the light. Therefore, let him be drawn towards the greater light where you are. Let him not see the place of darkness. Let him not behold the hideous ones fashioned by wickedness, the dwellers in the dark recesses, who shrink before the light, or the twisted ones molded by lewd desires. He brings with him a lamp lit from the flame of truth. He bears the rod of righteousness which rewards those who have overcome tribulations. Oh, let him pass to the right side of the dividing flame. He has left us. He is coming to you. He approaches. He throws off the earthly wrappings. He stands free. He stands glorious. Does he not glow with splendor? Behold him, your worthy companion in brightness. Is he not wholly compatible with those of your company? Is he not wholly compatible? Oh, I just read that. All right. See, he is a shining one, a hero of the horizon. Is he not the one destined to abide everlastingly? Take him, lead him to the realm of glory. Show him this place in the spheres of splendor. The eyes that were deceived on earth now see clearly. Oh, what splendors are revealed! The music unheard by earthly ears now sounds sweet, melodious music. Oh, what joyous rapture it brings! The nostrils inhale perfumes too delicate for the earthly nose. Oh, how the heart sings! All drabness, all dullness, and all sordidness which are of the earth are left behind. Turn him from the place where these can regather about him. The unmoving, empty body remains here before our eyes. It is nothing. It sees not. It hears not. It speaks not. It smells not. Its breath is stilled. It begins to fall apart. There is no life, and the overseer has departed. Nothing remains here with us but this unresponsive thing. The greatness, the feeling, the sensitivity have departed from the body, and are now beyond our ken. These are with the real surviving being. Oh, receive him into the life of splendor. We who are here stand blinded behind the veil of flesh. We cannot see beyond ourselves. We hope, we believe, and we trust. Thus it has ever been with men, for they pass their lives behind a wall of limitations. There is a barrier shutting them in. They are imprisoned within a mortal body. O grant us fulfillment. Grant us that which is the ultimate desire and aspiration of men. We speak for this man. He is one who came with us from afar. He is one who has traveled a long, weary road. No taint of meanness stained the purity of his spirit. No corruption of deceit discolored the garments of his soul self. He is gone over shining in radiant splendor, so even the doomed in their darkness can hope when they sight his distant glow. May it shed some small warmth into their grim coldness. O great welcomer who greets the newcomers, help our departed one. He served well in this place of trial and tribulation. Let him not go unrewarded. He is the Son of Hope. Like us, like those who went before, he hoped as men had always hoped, for this is not a place of certainties. If it were, our heritage of glory would be badly earned. He lives because it is ordained that he lives. He lives for all men live everlastingly. They die not, they perish not, they endure through ages. His Kohar awaits him and needs hide no awful aspect in shame. Let his face shine in greeting, welcome home the wanderer. The tomb structure is not a place of finality. The grave is not the goal of earthly life, and any more than the soil is the goal of the seed. Does seed die within the ground? Is it planted intending that it will be mingled with the soil and lost? O great welcomer, let your face shine with gladness when you greet the homecoming wanderer. Lead him to the Kohar, which is his inheritance, that he may enter into it and enjoy its embrace. Let him find completion and fulfillment by absorption into his Kohar. Our departed one was the whole part which came forth from the whole, and he returns to the whole. Nothing is lost, nothing is gone. He lives over there, lives more fully than he ever lived. He lives in splendor, he lives in beauty, he lives in knowledge and in the waters of life. He is everlasting. O departed one, risen to glory, you are now a released spirit united with your spirit whole and companionable Kohar, the everlasting one. Arise, alive in the land beyond the horizon, and journey to the land of dawning. The stars accompanying you will sing you joy, while the heavenly signs voice hymns of praise and gladness. You are not far removed from us. It is as if we were in one room, divided by a curtain. Therefore we are not sorrowful. If we weep, it is because we cannot share your joys and because we no longer know your touch. Our everlasting Kohar, take this man of goodness into your eternal embrace. Let your life become his life and your breath his breath. He is your own. He is the drop returning to the filled pitcher, the leaf returning to the tree. You are the repository of his incarnations. As you grew there, so he grew here. You are everlastingly whole, and he lives in you. If he is not even as you in face, let him enter. Hide his faults, for they are not many. For this you were fashioned, for this you came into being. You are the overbody awaiting the returning spirit, and the spirit now comes. You are that which will clothe the newly arrived spirit in heavenly flesh. You are that in which our departed one will express himself. O Kohar, hear us. Here is your vitalizing essence. Before you were incomplete, now you are whole. Draw your own, your compatible one, to you and observe the many likenesses. We send fragrances that they may spread around you. Now take the eye which will perfect your face. It is the perfecting eye, the eye which sees things as they are. See fluctuating wraith. Wait. See the fluctuating wraith. Is it not beautiful? Does it not come with an aura of fragrance, sweetness fulfilling the air? It has been purged of all impurities. All about it is fragrance. Therefore, grant it your substance that it may become solid and firm. O Kohar, long have you awaited the day of fulfillment, the day of your destiny. That day is here, it is now. Therefore, take the spirit which is your own and enfold it in your wings. Each to his own, and to his own each goes. You and he are bound together with unseverable bonds. Each without the other is nothing. Now bear him up, for in that place you are greater than he, for you are the generator. While he rested in the womb, you are active. As he grew, you grew before him. If he has done wrong, and who among men is guiltless, then in you let the wrong be adjusted. You are his hope, you are his shield, and you are his refuge. This we say to the brilliant one, the guardian of goodness. The departed one has not walked with ignorance. He has not been slothful in carrying the burden of his duty. He has not been swayed by passions of the body. He has not despoiled the house of another. He has not caused undue sorrow, nor has he maltreated a child for pleasure. He has secured the poor and weak. He has done all that is good. Therefore, let none of those who lurk in darkness seize him. His radiant light is strong. Those who would seize him are repulsed by the light and slink away. He lives forever. He has lived worthily. He has been purified by the fires of earthly life. He has been refined in the furnace of tribulation. He has overcome all earthly temptations. He has lived the life which enhances goodness. He has prepared himself for life in the light. Receive him, O brilliant one. O Kohar, absorb into yourself the life force. It was meant for you. It is yours. It is the enlivening spirit which spans the two worlds. He, the departed one, was you, and even more so were you he. Come to him as the beauteous one came to Belus, a great king, and gathered him in compassion and love. Come that he may awaken to new life in your arms. This man, the departed one, who in unity with you becomes the glorious one, was born of a god and is the child of two gods after the nature of greater men. Now you are impregnated with the living spirit of he who was prepared by trial on earth for you. Behold, the unity your twain Behold, in unity your twain are now throbbing with life, and your brightness bedazzles the eyes. You are now a star of life, a living star, and to a star you shall ascend to rule its life. The departed one is now freed. He is loosened from the bonds of illusion. He is saved from the dark waters of unreality and is one with the eternal light. These things we declare, so let them be. Our thoughts mold a new reality beyond the present real, and this becomes the reality of tomorrow. O great substantial Kohar, protect this departed one, your own, from the accusations of false-fronted beings, remembering the faithful heart ever prevailing before the balances of our forefathers from far away. Put into his mouth those words which open doors. Let the goodness in him prevail. But you, yourself, stand up and bear witness for him. He suffered from the frailties of men. He was wrathful when provoked, and surely when enduring great burdens. His temper flashed quickly when his words were not accepted or his ways followed, and at times he lacked consideration. However, these are small things inseparable from the frailties of mortal men, and in all greater things he was good. Let not the false-fronted one, disguised in his brother's form, possess him. Guard him from the beings lurking in the shadows this side of the darkness. I see this, my brothers. Behold, the departed one goes to meet his own image. It is his own self reflected in his image. It is his own self that comes to greet him. It is his Kohar which embraces him. It welcomes him as though he were one ransom from captivity. I see them blend, and he becomes a new seed in the heart of his Kohar. I hear the Kohar speak. It names itself Nevakohar. It says, O man of pure thoughts, of kindly words, of quiet speech, of good deeds, come to me. I am your being, yet I am not you, as you have loved and cherished me, so I now love and cherish you. I am your reward, as I would have been your affliction. They are now united, and this is the place of the first threshold, from whence the completed beings depart. The departed one now stands in his own form and likeness. He becomes the great ship-borne voyager and passes over the waters to the place of reeds. But his weaknesses do not bear him down, and he goes through. Great ones, lift him up, let him not fall into the fetid waters of decay. He is a worthy son of Luth. Then the lesser is carried by the greater, while the dark ones gaze up from their misery and wait silently to see if he is borne up. The glorious one goes past in peace, for he is not compatible with their dark company. He remains unmolested, for the flame confounds the hands of slime. An unloosed dark one comes up, saying, It will take this man, but is repulsed by brightness. It is a thing of maimed rottenness, for on earth it was clothed in lust-saturated flesh, though contained in a form of beauty. The heart of this man is not faint. See him now. Is he not sure of his welcome among beings of glory? He is as the wild bull, the prince of herds. He is a great one among the everlasting spirits. He reaches the firm ground where a bright being welcomes him. He is named the newcomer. He has landed on the shore and climbed the steps of splendor. He is in the company of shining spirits, and his earth-life companions greet him. They welcome him, saying, All this beauty and splendor is yours to enjoy. They bring garments of beauty, bright clothes of radiance. He has passed through the hall of judgment. The twin truths have heard his plea, and those who bore witness have departed. He has crossed the waters and ascended the steps. Now he has attained the threshold of immortality and stands in rapture. He has passed by the regions of darkness and gloom and is with glory. He comes to everlasting life in a true form of splendor, to dwell evermore as a living spirit within his Kohar. How wonderful it is to be united and one with the Kohar. The newcomer looks back across the waters to the place of decision. Then he turns and ascends the steps to the threshold of immortality. He is in his true form, yet he is a spirit within his Kohar. He speaks, but it is not the speech of men, and all understand him. He is hearing. His hearing is all-embracing. He sees both the powers of light and the powers of darkness, but the powers of darkness no longer affect him. The newcomer has reached his compatible abode. He has fought the battle which is mortal life and risen supreme to victory. He has not been vanquished by the raging ones, which are the bodily passions. At each step forward, he has left a lifeless form. At each step, he has fought a shadow. At each step, he has won the clash of arms. The newcomer has sought out and discovered the one hidden behind the two, the three which stand before them. He knows the secret of the nine which the veil of the nine which veil the others from the eyes of men. He has unraveled the skein of life's mysteries, even as those enlightened ones yet living on earth must do. There is no suffering or pain in the newcomer. He cannot feel hurt, neither can he be sorrowful. If a companion of his earth journey be numbered among the dark ones, then his heart is soothed with forgetfulness. But later he will remember, and because of his efforts, the dark one will be returned to the crucible. Chapter 2, The Sacred Registers, Part 2. The writings of Garmi. The writings of Garmi were brought by the hands of Nadayeth the Enlightener, of the twin cities whence come the sons of fire. When he fled the wrath of kings, he spread out before the learned ones beauteous things of many colors and spoke to them after this fashion. And I, Lavos, recorded it in the tongue of the sons of fire. Behold, this, it is the land of the dawning. It stands between the land of light, ever splendid, and the land of darkness, ever gloomy. They are the lands beyond the veil. Before the veil is the land of the living. The aspiring one has embarked on the waters of illusion. His craft is afloat, but it has not yet reached the shores where the promise of new life is fulfilled. Now, if he is now, he is guided by two beings, one a lovely maiden and the other an ill-visaged man. These two strive one with the other, each grasping one side of the craft. Now it overturns. The maiden seeks to drag the aspiring one down, while the ill-favored man seeks to keep him afloat. But the aspiring one struggles against him. They come to the sands of the shining shore, where the light of truth turns the maiden into a vile-faced hag, and the man into a handsome youth. The aspiring one lies on the sands of shadow as one dead, for he had fought against the man who sought to save him. The beauteous one comes attended by handmaidens, and with them are the companions of the aspiring one's earthly life. There too is his soul self awaiting his embrace. The aspiring one lies as dead, for he did not know his Savior. They who stand about, who are the welcomers, wait in uncertainty. The beauteous one bends over the prostrate man and says, "Revive. This is not a place where death rules." He moves, and she says, "Raise yourself and cast away the residue of your mortality." The aspiring one opens his eyes. He sits up. He shields his eyes before the vision of beauty. He is blinded by it, and she gives him his heart. The handmaidens weep, and their tears are the blood of the aspiring one's life. The beauteous one says, "I have come that you who were dead might live, that you who were blinded might see, that you who were deceived might know truth." The soul self says, "I have come to embrace you. I have come to protect you. I have come to shield you. I am your refuge. That which is the Kohar says, "I have come to brighten up your face. I am you as you are me. I have waited for you. I have wept for you and rejoiced when you rejoiced. I have never forgotten you while we have been apart. I have heard every word spoken, and these are recorded for you. I have recorded every sight. I have recorded every sound. I have recorded every smell and every taste. Every memory is secure for you. Here I give you form and substantiality. Yeah, you know what I mean. This is the herald. He stands between this man and his Kohar, and they, together with the adjuster, the welcomers, go to the hall of judgment and stand before the Lord of life, the master of destinies. Now come the Lord of eternity, who are the lesser gods, and they enter the gates of splendor. The balancer comes from his secret place. The greeter to darkness stands at his door, and the greeter of splendor stands at his door. They face each other. The welcomers, compatible companions of this man's earthly life, stand about. They are there in the hall of judgment. The balancer causes two fluid-like fluctuating columns which stand on either side of the Kohar, and one takes the form of the aspiring one, but it is horribly malformed because it mirrors all his wickedness and weakness. The other shines brightly, for it mirrors all his goodness and spiritual qualities. Then the two columns merge back into the Kohar, and the adjuster adjusts with justice and mercy. Then the aspiring one stands forth in his Kohar and in his true likeness, which is a blending together of all his incarnational likenesses. The aspiring one is drawn towards the right hand door. He passes through and sets foot on the rainbow road. He is accompanied by the welcomers, the companions of his earthly life, who are now revealed to him in their true likeness. They sing, they dance, they rejoice, and there is much gladness in the reunion. The world of truth is established. It is fulfilled. The ancient promises are fulfilled. He who departs shall return. He who sleeps shall awaken. He who dies shall live. The aspiring one has passed into the regions of glory. Now behold, the body vacated by the vehicle of life. It slumbers in its death wrappings, for the enliving spirit has flown. The earthly body alone stays and cannot hold itself together. It prepares to fall apart and decay. The companions of the dead take it into their company. It will be made incorruptible and become a communicating door. It is given the things which rightly belong to the dead. Those who remain on earth fear the life shadow of the one who has gone on before them. The body is bandaged in its death wrappings. It is purified. It is made clean. It is provided with the necessities. Thus the life shadow shall dwell at peace within the empty body. It believes it to be its abode. It shall not wander. O shadow, do not wander. Remain within the tomb. Seize any who come to steal. Seize any who would break the body. Seize any who would open that which is closed. Seize and haunt. Seize and haunt. The companions of the dead speak thus. The life shadow of this man who was is never restless. It never wanders. It is ever protecting. It is ever watchful. It remains, for it is bound to the empty corpse of the restraining throngs. They say, the spirit of this man has awakened in the land of immortality. It rejoices in the land beyond the horizon. He is a hero of the horizon. Offend him not by thinking that he is dead. He cannot die, for he is with the ever-living. He has not gone away to die. He has departed to live elsewhere. Let the moisture of his body return to the waters of the earth from whence it came. Let the things of hardness in his body return to the dust from whence they came. Let his bones rejoin the stones which once they were. Weep not, for your tears and lamentations restrain his eager spirit. Sing the death dirge. Sing the death dirge, that it echoes may sound the Tuscan in the region of light, and the splendid ones and the welcomers come to the place of appointment. It is unfitting to force gladness on a sorrowful heart, but be sad only for a temporary parting. Let not the earthly body of this man who was become destitute. Surround it with care and affection, so that it may transmit the substance of life. Sustain it, so the life shadow remain within. What see you now? Gaze upon it. The frail mortal remains enwrapped and silent, unresponsive. Ponder. This you see with the eyes of the body, which cannot perceive things of the spirit. Were the eyes of your spirit opened but a brief moment, you would perceive something entirely different, and then you would know that his shining, immortal spirit walks in the company of those risen to glory. It is the time for parting, the time for farewell, for the closing of the door. O departed one, risen to glory, who has left us to sorrow, as we have helped you and surrounded you with the protection of our love and our offerings, so now help us in the days of life left to us on earth. Chapter 3, The Sacred Registers, Part 3. Behold, one comes wearing white sandals and clad in fine linen. Arise, stand up to greet him. He bears the staff of righteousness. He brings a pearl of priceless value. Take it and become perfect. Others come, fair women and young children. His father's hair has come, and the four great ones who bear sweet waters, who spread the feast and rejoice under the strong arm of their protector. He who has gone is not forgotten, but this is the day of the living. He who has inherited ceases from weeping and begins to smile. The protecting one comes in peace. The heart in the sky is no longer small. It expands, it grows large. Thus it is also with the heart of he who lives. His days of lamentations are over, and his heart swells and grows large. The good son never ceases from faithful service on behalf of the absent one who has escaped from the confinement of the body. The dutiful son now calls upon the absent one for protection from wandering shadows and from the molestations of life shadows. O bountiful, ever considerate one, hear the words of your faithful and dutiful son as they ascend with the blue penetrating smoke of fragrant incense. Let no shadow wander from your safe abode to haunt our habitations. For they who dwell therein have done you no dishonor. Safeguard the dark doorway that things in vile forms come not near us to pollute our bodies with sickness and disease. You left, and before the waters rose again, the man of Shadow, he who dealt harshly with the widow dwelling beside the channel of black stones, departed for his judgment. Is it not he whom you judged, and did you not deal rightly with him when the scales went down against him? Therefore might he not return from the region of darkness with others of his kind, and cause misfortune to fall upon us? You he cannot harm. You are now in the place of glory, in the land beyond the western waters. Therefore, send us guardians from among the glorious company, that they may spread protecting wings over our habitations. Many come bearing cakes of fine meal and barley cakes, large fat-bodied fish and meats of many kinds, honey wine in jars, and fruits in plenty. He who is absent from the feast is joyful, his arm is strong, and he issues his commands to the guardians. Cast off all gloom and be joyful, for this is not the time of sorrow, and tears have no place in your eyes. If there be benevolent life shadows beyond the protective pale, they may enter. Join with us in our rejoicing. Let us all enjoy what we have and what we share, for life is irrepressible. These are the things from a foreign place said for our brother Gwem, according to the rites of the sons of fire, and thus it shall be for those who enter the chambers of stone. Chapter 4, Sacred Rites, Part 4. No longer can the man who was speak with men on earth, for he now lives in splendor among the eternal ones. He was weighed before the assessors, and though his faults were not few, he was not outweighed in goodness. He has become a shining one, and journeys on into the spaces of heavenland, accompanied only by his compatible companions. He has ascended into the place of glory, the place of fulfillment. The years have fallen off his shoulders like a cast-off cloak, and he is young again. He is vigorous, he lives. Time cannot touch him with change, nor sorrow enter his heart. He rests, awaiting a new call to duty. He has passed through the wide hall and through the narrow portal. He has entered the land of new dawnings, and he is welcomed. His earth companions greet him. He lives. He is beyond harm. He sees the sublime visions which fulfill his yearnings. He who has served is now served. As he has sown and husbanded, so now he reaps. He continues past the place of waiting souls and sees the awaiting Kohars who will unite with the ascending spirits of men. He bears in his hand the book of life and glides over the pure pastures, past the bright dividing flame. He turns the face of compassion towards the darkness, but sees not the fleeting shadows against the red glare. The lost ones shrink back in shame, and the man who has passes the entrance to their foul abode. Those who are left to mourn for the glorious one have dried their tears, for all is well with him. He delights in the good life in the place of glory. He is safe in the embrace of his Kohar. He is the adoring one whose eyes are open to splendor. He sees the sublime visions. The man who was seeks the illuminator who will direct him in his duties. He cleanses himself in the lake of beauty and refreshes himself at the fountain of life. He sees the spirit of the twilight who are purged of all their wickedness and lusts, yet they remain captive to the lords of destinies, for they are still unproven. The Lord of life will direct their passage back for trial and testing. For these there is always hope. The man who was has navigated the winding waters of life and crossed the dark waters of death, and he is now strengthened in wisdom. He takes a seat on high that he may become an instructor and guide on the path. He becomes a brazier in the distance. I think that's the right word. A brazier in the distance, a homing light to guide those who seek truth. He is purified and comes forth wearing the white mantle of greatness. Behold the splendor of his raiment and the purity of his adornments as he sits awaiting calls from those in the heavy kingdom who seek his counsel. The seers in the dark waters will amaze the people with the clarity of their visions and revelations. For the power goes forth from the man who was, with manifold strength. A great being has joined the splendid company in the land of dawnlight. Over there, they will say, Earth is worthily fulfilling its purpose when it produces men such as this. You may wonder what are the occupations of the man who was. Does he illuminate the dark waters alone? May he not be among those who seek to enter the hearts of those who close the doors of their spirit to the instructors of wisdom. Alas, they who are heavily enshrouded in earthly wrappings are ever set of face before the instructors of wisdom. They say, What have we to do with this babble? Yet they, most of all, require enlightenment, for they are men of small minds. May he not have become a pathfinder in the night, a guide through the darkness, the star illuminating the night at its darkest hour as the herald of the great illuminator. May he not have become a director of rays that dance on the waters, or a controller of the winds which caress the cheek. Suffice that he rejoices in a life of splendor, so let it remain with him and his Kohar until the day when all is known, the day of full knowing. Hold on. Chapter 5, The Sacred Registers, Part 5. These are the instructions for those who journey the outer track of the twin way, for those who have been laid in the chambered tombs, who followed the ways of Camaweleth. The words are those from the distant past, first spoken in a far land beyond the rolling billows. The risen one has become the newcomer, and having passed through the clearing house, his departure is not delayed. No toll is required on the ferry, for the newcomer has with him the words of entrance, which have become known to him according to his deeds. He has not deviated from the path, and all is well. The ferryman comes to the place of waiting, he of the winding river, which is the tortuous channel of purification. The newcomer stands at the mooring place and proclaims, O ferryman, away to the region of the blessed ones. I am purified, purging of polluting evils. Make haste, do not delay. I am a wanderer anxious to reach my destination. The ferryman says, "From whence come you?" The newcomer says, "I am from Restal and am weary. Take me to my compatible place of abode, let us not delay. I wish to join those united with their soul selves. Let us not dally. Do not tarry, for I am anxious to depart from this somber shore. Have no fear, cautious one, for no evil dogs my footsteps. Come, let us away. Bear me over the waters to the appointed place. Carry me swiftly to where spirits are regenerated and made young again. Carry me to the foot of the great stairway that ascends to the place of immortals, courtyard of the great God." The ferryman hesitates. He says, "Show me your token, that I may know you have truly passed the tests, that I may know your true destination. For it is the way with men that they think one thing, but truth lies elsewhere." The newcomer says, "My token is the brightness which, if you be no impostor, you may see shining above my head, and my introduction is the writing concerning me, written in the book of sacred mysteries. Come, bear me over the waters, so that I may tread the field of peace. See, have I not 4 attendants, two on either side? Let them speak for me, for they are my witnesses walking in the light of truth." The ferryman says, "Who stands to the pole?" And the risen one answers, "I will stand to the pole with my attendants, 2 on either side. You stand by to bear at the steering oar, so that our course remains straight." The ferryman says, "It is well, for the current is sullen and changeful." The newcomer says, "O ferryman of the boatless ones, I am truly a man justified before all on both sides of the horizon, before heaven and earth. I have passed the tests of the examiners and am free to proceed. I am one who can claim passage by virtue of my deeds. Have not men spoken well of me after I departed from their midst? Is this not enough? It is the way with earth that if men speak of the goodness of an absent one, then he is good indeed. Truly, I am a bright one." The ferryman says, "Draw aside your mantle that I may see your likeness, for this is a good boat which may not be polluted. The path henceforth is hard for those who cannot be faced without revulsion. O great one, draw your mantle over again. You are indeed among the brightest of those who pass this way. Great will be the rejoicing when you appear among your own kind, the pure of heart. Delay no longer, ferryman, quickly over the waters to the other side. If you delay further, I will name the names of gods to men that their unreality be exposed. I am not one to be trifled with. I am one who can dispel the clouds of illusion. I am a man of no mean qualities. Therefore, tarry no more. Let us depart." Chapter 7. The Sacred Registers, Part 7. This is the manner whereby the aspiring ones of earth may cross the dread horizon through residence with the cavern of stone. It is thus that men come to know the truth concerning the realms of glory beyond the western horizon. But it is a path beset by great dangers and manifold terrors, and many return witless. The aspiring one is of earth. He is earthbound. He sits within the cavern before the cauldron of rebirth and regeneration, and inhales the smoke from the brew of release. He rises above himself, flying on the wings of 5 feathers, the names of which are recorded in the book of secret mysteries, wherein are the awful recipes. There it is written that he may ascend like a falcon and cannot go otherwise than as a falcon. He may not go in the manner of any other bird. He escapes the call of earth. Its feathers fall from him. The aspiring one leaves his attendants behind. He is not with them. He is not of earth. Neither is he of heaven. He is at the place where the two meet and intermingle. His body moves without the spirit and partakes of the sour yellow bread of wide vision. The aspiring one drinks the brew of gray barley and sips long at the wine of Harish, eating the cakes of green, brown Horus. He eats the fruit of the releasing tree and drinks the brew of black fungus, which is in the smoke goblet. Thus he sleeps, and the attendants lay him down in the receptacle called the womb of rebirth. He is in the place of visions, but remains like the masthead bird. He shall be covered and made so that in his struggles he rise not. His voice is heard speaking in a strange tongue as he calls on his fathers who have gone before and now preside over affairs beyond the wide lake. His body becomes still as he enters the dazzling chamber, which is the doorway to twin vision. Now he must penetrate the walls of dry air, which bar his passage, and rise into the rainbow-colored clouds of radiance, which are above. High up, he looks below him and sees the waters of the winding canal of experience, and understands the meaning of all that had befallen him. Now he has 4 eyes, these being the inner and outer eyes, and rising higher, he attains the heights of wide consciousness. Here he meets the pathfinder and follows him swiftly. He speaks rightly to the guardian. He shields his eyes when passing the lurker on the threshold, and goes on until he comes to the abode of the opener of the ways. Now the body of the aspiring one becomes restless, and those who attend him place the power of Hori over his face. He hears the voice of the sun god, which says, I know the necessary names. I am the knower of names. I know the name of the limitless one. Above the lords of the east and west, I am the most powerful. The aspiring one becomes covered with moisture. He writhes, he shouts, he struggles. The companionable watchers know he has left the protection of the sun god, that he has been seized by the fiends of darkness, but he struggles and prevails over them. All is well. Then the aspiring one returns. 100 shining suns whirl above. A whisper rolls around like thunder. Lights of manifold hues sway above, like the river reeds in the wind. All things appear to dance in a shimmering haze, then turn over and fold back into themselves. And such beauty is produced that the human tongue cannot describe it. All things take upon themselves shimmering forms, through which other forms can be seen. Great melodic music throbs all around, while everything pulsates a soft rhythm. The air is filled with voices of unearthly sweetness. Glory and splendor are everywhere. Then the aspiring one wakes. He is raised. Behold, he comes forth and walks as one bemused by a vision of glory. He staggers. He cannot walk unsupported. His throat burns and his mouth is overgrown with dryness. His head resounds with drum beats. He is given the sweet waters in the cup of forgetfulness and drinks deeply. All is well. He is a reborn one. He is an enlightened one. He is one resurrected from the cavern of stone. Chapter 6. The Sacred Registers. The man who was becomes the pilgrim. He has crossed the waters. He has passed the grim guardian. He awaits without the place of union and stands firmly. He is not afraid and stands resolute. The cool, gracious one approaches with 3 jars of water and refreshes him. The pilgrim says, Behold, O watcher at the gate, I have laid up treasure enough in the storehouse of love. Therefore, allow me to pass. The love of those who have gone before, see, is it not a large quantity and sufficient to draw me upward? See the love of those who remain behind, is it not a large quantity and sufficient to draw me upward? The watcher hears his words. The grim guardian counts and weighs and says, Pass. Then this man passes and goes beyond the lake of wisdom. past the winding channel of experiences, over the flooded field of reeds, to the eastern side of the region of light, where he will be renewed in birth into the higher spheres. The pilgrim now stands before the womb of heaven, where those who enter as pure seed are brought forth into union with God. This man passes by to where the attendants help him to assume the robe of glory. They welcome him. Behold, they say, his Kohar has brought this man powers to make him complete. The powers he gave into the keeping of his Kohar during the prayer times on earth have returned greatly magnified. This man has joined the joyful company. He has left his old discarded body in the region of heaviness to assume another more glorified one in the region of light. The Kohar greets the pilgrim and says, I welcome you, my own. The Kohar says to those about, this is my own. He has washed in the lake of wisdom and passed by the caverns of distrust and doubt. Let us, therefore, enter in peace when the great door is open for the united being in the east, the door leading to the place of the one true God above all gods, whose manifestations are secret mysteries. Before going further, they pass by a side entrance to the region of darkness, where vile and sorrowful things lurk. The lost ones, those who served in the ranks of evil on earth. O great Kohar, stop the ears of your own, that he may not hear the mournful wailings of the doomed ones left behind. They who are the companions of the pilgrim cry out, O Kohar, guide your own right, guide him up the ladder of life which he must traverse again. Strengthen its rungs, support him so he bears lightly upon them. Do not let the rungs break beneath his weight. This is the test of deeds long since done, where evil bears down heavily. O Kohar, your own is weak and falters, yet your arms are strong. Therefore lift them to support him, that he may surmount to the heights above. Do this that he may sit with those who have understanding and perception, that his feet may be welcomed in the fields of peace, and that he may take his place among the glorious ones. Blessed is the Kohar who safeguards all memories, storing them as men store corn, who retains these for the use of the reborn ones, who can recall all that men forget and can draw forth a memory as men draw water from a well. The Kohar is the eternal recorder. Pilgrims become risen ones and enter their Kohars as a soul enters a body, and in unity they become glorious ones. Chapter 8, The Sacred Registers, Part 8. These are the supplications of Ilkeb, the stranger, who came from the land of rising waters and was known to us as the opener of the ways. He came under the wings of the firehawk. He was the first of the scarlet-robed ones, the right hand of Glanvanis. That was in the time of our fathers' fathers, and the tongue of the seafarers is no longer in the mouth of men. O great being of beauty, brilliant one, who greets the newcomers arriving in the place beyond the western horizon. This woman is your daughter is she. See, she is pure in spirit and clean in heart. She is modest and womanlike, so let her pass to live in the pastures of life, in the land of new dawning, where all is wholesome. Let her be purified by the maidens of Orshafa. Let them purify her. Let her be washed and dried by the attendants at the clean, sweet waters of life. Let the 9 delicate ones minister to her. Let her be clothed in garments of decency, for she is a womanly woman. O great and glorious one, give this woman your hand. Clasp her hand with womanly tenderness. Spread out your falcon wings over her. Spread protecting wings around her. She has followed the tedious ways of womankind and has glorified life with her presence. She has endured affliction and patience and made her home, hearth, a place of peace and content. Let her roam the pastures of the blessed ones and penetrate into the farthest regions of light. I raise my hands in supplication. The The flame is lit, it burns brightly. Fragrant incense is placed in the bowl and becomes a glow. Its sweet perfume rises into the recesses above. O happy risen one, O beautiful being glowing with womanly goodness, treasure of all virtues, purify yourself for admittance into the higher regions. The incense we offer her is your indrawn breath of renewed life. It fills your lungs. You breathe, and because you breathe, you live. This is the best incense from the land of Gwemi, differing not from that which our fathers knew when they traveled the water road. O beautiful one, my heart lingers at the place where you rest. My heart is with you, entwined with yours. How sweet your breath, how pleasant your perfume, how gentle your whispers, how delicate the rustle of your attire. O newly become beauteous one, you are not alone. Rise, blue, perfumed smoke, rise, cleaning fragrance, rise, sweet, wholesome offerings, rise like fluttering birds on the wing of purified air to the glorious regions of light which lie away beyond our poor perception. Accept our sweet fragrance, O beautiful one. Inhale our sweet smoke, O ever delicate one. May you enjoy the due reward of your labors and privations, of your selfless sacrifices. Be ever contented and peaceful, O dutiful wife and loving mother. Hear our words as they rise to you in the softly smoldering incense, which comes shipborne to these shores. Hear the voices of the waiting, welcoming. Hear the voices of the waiting welcomers greeting the beauteous one who now joins them. They say, cast off the cold, worn garment and array yourself in garments of radiant light, in the clothes of splendor which have awaited you. Bedeck yourself in the well-earned jewels of spiritual reward. Henceforth, you shall dwell here, walking about freely to be honored and loved. Here you will be renewed, be alert, vigorous, far-reaching. The power of your spirit shall stretch out to every place. You take thought and fly on a hawk's wings. Your desire becomes a chariot with wings of light. Beyond the place of your first destination is the kingdom of the Lord of the distant sky. There he will permit manifestations in glory. There henceforth you shall walk in strength and beauty, being ever filled with life and power, garmented in loveliness for all eternity. There floodwaters of the glorious fluid light unknown here rise and fall in moderation, and therein you may bathe daily and taste the revitalizing rests. Here your thirst may be slaked at the well of divine essence and your appetite appeased by the strange bread of everlasting life. This is your destiny in the land beyond the veil. Therefore lift up your face in joy. Rise, lovingly, liveliness. You are one destined to be numbered among the shining ones, and are warmly welcomed into the company of the fragrant ones. O happy one who enhanced earthly life with your presence, this is your reward. Many have done mighty things, but you have served with constancy and diligence, adding the small grains of goodness to the pile of merits until it exceeded in weight the great things done by others. We hail you, O victorious one. The welcomers say among themselves, how fair and bright the face of this newcomer. How fine must have been her life in the region of heaviness. Behold, here she is, renewed and made young again, but with a loveliness unknown in the life left behind. When she goes forward from here, she is within her Kohar. They are one. Her vision is through the Kohar. Her smell is through the Kohar. All she senses is through the Kohar. All she does and knows is through the Kohar. Behold, she is among the chosen. Henceforth she becomes an opener of the way for those of her blood. Glorious is she, and blessed are they. Those are the supplications made for Milvan, daughter of Malion, son of Market the stranger, according to the rites of the sons of fire. Ardwith kept it, and it was done into this form at the place called Korinaba. All right, chapter 9. Sacred Registers. Part 9. This concerns the mystery of the twice born. It relates to those born again, to those who have endured the awfulness of the false death, which many do not survive, who may have drunk deeply from Cori Ladwin, the smooth, bitter brew which releases the spirit, who has entered Ogophonom through the thundering doors. This is their path. The door of heaven stands ajar. The doors of vision have been opened, and now the cavern of vision is revealed. The spirit-bearing waves from the abyss have been freed, and the rays of the great light have been set free, and the guides and watchers have been placed in their positions by the Constant One. The welcomers stand back, for this is not their stage. The Brilliant One is there, and another, who is the reciter, and he explains the visions. O brave, stout-hearted one, soil tashed to be, the things you behold are the things seen by great ones of earth when they come this way in their hour, and were returned back to life. They were truly men of wisdom, well versed in the mystic procedures, men who knew their position and parts. Behold the twin stars. These embodied the midwifery powers drawing the twice born back to their places of origin. They who are with them are the champions of light and darkness. One you must choose as your companion, but the choice must be made according to the law of affinity. Otherwise you are lost. The pool wherein you gaze is at earth life. The brilliant light above, far greater than the sun, is the manifestation of the one God, but it is not he. The rays dancing about are the gods, distorted reflections of what is, distorted reflections of truth, shadows of reality. The sparkling motes are souls. They descend from the light to manifest in darkness. The clouds obscuring the lesser lights are the clouds of misconception, which darken the face of wisdom. The dark twins standing by the pillar are delusion and illusion, the constant beguilers of men. The stream of clear water is truth, and the waters of truth constantly shear away the clay pedestal of falsehood. Brightness you see before you, to the right, is the naked spirit displaying itself in isolation. It is neither in a mortal body nor within the kohar. Beyond it is a much greater brightness reflected from afar, which is the kohar of kohars, which men cannot yet understand. The repulsive shapes which are behind the flame on your left are doomed spirits, which once were then living forces within men. Now they grovel in slime and filth, denizens of mirror, but their fate is just, for they themselves were the judges. The darkness beyond the murk will not become greater. Darkness cannot change to light, for when light comes into darkness, there is no darkness. It ceases to exist. The gloominess and shadows seen you see, forward on your left-hand side, is the region of heaviness, where mortals sojourn. The flickering lights which appear here and there are the joys of earth, while the darker spots are where there are sorrows and suffering. The redness is an anger and strife. The blue-whiteness is love and compassion. The brightness above and ahead is the region of lightness, where the risen ones rejoice, for there they welcome their earth companions and are happy in reunion. Behold, here is a rising one newly arrived. See, she flies upward on the wide wings of spirit, and loving arms reach out to welcome her. The star-girt roadway you see rising before you is that trodden by the countless risen ones who have gone before. Now advance towards the left. The abyss now before you is the mouth of earth, and see, it opens and speaks to you, bidding you a farewell. Listen carefully, for it will retell your deeds, your accomplishments, and your omissions. If they weigh against you, then cast yourself into the abyss, for you are unworthy to survive this trial. Go no further, nor can you turn back, lest you become prey to the foul lurker in darkness. You have not been found wanting in the weighing, and step forward boldly and without fear, for the mouth will close to let you pass. If you have not numbered among the triumphant ones, then better by far that you be swallowed forthwith than that you survive to meet the dread lurker, the devouring horror, and be returned to earth a witless, empty shell. Beyond the abyss lies a stretch of blue water which contains the pool of wisdom and the pool of purification. Therein you must bathe and refresh your body. The trees growing to your right bear fruits of spiritual nourishment. Eat and become strong. Know, as doing so, that the things done, thought, and visualized on earth become qualities, which are here transmuted into the things and experiences of this nature. Pass between the waters and the trees, and you will see a cliff against which is a ladder, the rungs of which are bound in leathern thongs made from the hide of the bull of the night sky. This ladder which rises before you is the ladder of experience. Its two supports are experience in the body and experience in the spirit. The rungs are your daily deeds and thoughts and fantasies of your earthly life. Now is the test. Will your daily deeds and secret thoughts support your ascent, or are they incapable of bearing you upward? See above is your Kohar. Call upon it for help, for therein you may have stored a reserve of spiritual strength. Or perchance it may be barren and empty. Only you know. Those who uphold the ladder are the lords of the ladder, and they greet you as the ascending one. The ladder leads onto a plateau, and beside you appears the strangely garbed reciter, who sweeps his arms about and says, "All wherein things manifest is the firmament, which was before the beginning and still is. In the beginning its darkness was pierced by just a single ray from the Son of God, but later, when the first spirits entered, the firmament was brightened, and it was divided by heaviness and lightness. Then, when it was set apart, it was divided by the entry of dark spirits whose need was for a place, with which they had somber affinity. Therefore, the firmament of lightness is divided. There is a place of light for the victorious ones, and a place of darkness for those who could not rise to victory. There are regions of gloom and shadow, regions of twilight and shade. There are regions of light in many hues, regions ranging from dazzling lights to dim light. There is a veil across the firmament, dividing heaven from earth, and each spirit departing from earth penetrates through this veil, going to its appointed place, carried by the winds of affinity. Arriving there, the spirit, good or bad, strengthens and extends its compatible territory. The Kohar is the knower, and the spirit is the known. All knowledge is with the knower, but the known can tap it so it flows out into the known. The Kohar receives the spirit's seed in heaven, for there it is as the body is on earth. Even as the earthly body is made of things from the region of heaviness, so is the Kohar made of things from the region of lightness. These things are said by the reciter before he leads you to the place where he sleeps a serpent. Where sleeps a serpent, and pointing to it he says, "Behold the serpent, it sleeps at the bole of a tree from which hangs the body of man, the tree of his backbone. It is on guard, safeguarding the precious gem of spiritual powers, which lies enwrapped in the threefold covering. To obtain the gem, the serpent must be aroused and then overcome. To rouse this serpent is a thing not to be lightly undertaken, for it causes a fire to mount into the heart, which may destroy the brain with delusions and madness. Only the twice born can really obtain the gem. You pass on with the reciter, who will say, 'These are the things you must establish in your heart, the knowledge of the 8 roads along which you must travel to reach the land of the Westerners. These will bring you to the 12 first portholes leading to the land of shadows. Here I will recite for you the 22 deeds of wickedness you have not done. You will then pass through the land of shadows, as if it were your hour, and beyond it come to the great portal, where it must be established before the great guardian that you have ever done all within your power to live according to the 12 virtues. Then you pass through the portal to the hall of judgment. Here, for the first time, your light is revealed, and it is made known whether your tongue has spoken in accordance with the things within your heart. Many are they who know the words of the tongue, but sever these from what is written in the heart. The words of the tongue are copied from the writings of the heart and are a true copy, then cross to the place of assessment, where your true form and likeness will be displayed for all to see. A curtain of darkness descends, there is a heavy dark mist, then the muffled crash of thundering doors. The aching body reclines within the tomb of stone. The questing pilgrim has returned to his home haven. He has learned truths he could never learn on earth, and now knows the grand secret. Faith is replaced with certainty, and he is now an initiated one. All right, Book of Scrolls, Chapter 10, Sacred Registers, Part 10. My God and my Father, my Creator and my Governor, Supreme and Immortal Spirit, I come to you as a wayward son comes to his father. I come as the world-weary wanderer who comes home. I come as the victorious, battle-bludgeoned warrior comes to the place of his rest. I am one who has passed the trials. I am one who has survived the challenges. I have returned full of wisdom and knowledge, the fruits of long years in your earthly place of instruction. There, I was diligent. I was not a waster of time. I was not a man of idleness. I am proved worthy. I, your son, have come home. The virtues I developed on earth are the messengers that sped before me. My qualities hastened to announce my coming. They sped on invisible wings so that only those sensitive to that which emanated from me knew of their coming. They came as perfume carried on the wind. They announced me. They heralded me. They gave salutations to the spirits and the bright abodes. Yet I have not forgotten the dwellers in terror, and small dark spirit of the twilight has gone forth to make known to them my departure from earth. This, that should any there know of me, they may be made aware that I am not of their dismal company. Will there be weeping there in the dank, dreary darkness? I surmounted the trials of existence in heaviness. Now my spirit can speed like the lightning flash. I am one who has accomplished what had to be done. I am governed by I have governed my affairs, not wholly but earthly standards, but by the greater ordinances of heaven. I have carefully read the books of instruction and listened to the interpreting words of the wise. He who tests the hearts and reads thoughts has weighed me, and I was not found wanting in the balances. I am a cool one, for my thoughts rest in peace. I am not numbered among the hot ones, whose thoughts consume them as fire consumes wood. I have passed the nameless ones to come into the presence of the Great One, whom no man names, whose name is not knowable to men. I have reached the destination of ages. I have achieved the ultimate goal. I have put on the mantle of immortality and the robe of light, which the heavenly weavers prepared for me. I am a little one who comes in littleness and not in greatness. I am a humble one, and come not in pomp and grandeur, for these are things of the four-quartered earth, having no place here. I have done things which have been wrong, but these were done in ignorance and not willfully or malice. O watchers, announce to the lords of light and to the lords of darkness that I am one who has penetrated the mystic veil, but is destined to return to the realm of heaviness. O watchers, announce that I am now a self-knowing everlasting spirit. O Father of the gods, who is above all, issue the decrees of fate, which ensure that henceforth I live a life of service, and that I may that I may live purposefully when I return to fulfill my destiny. All right, Chapter 11, The Sacred Registers, Part 11. My heart, my spirit, my Kohar, guardian of my memories, cast not your words in the balances against me. My faults and failings are not few, for no mortal man is perfect, yet they weigh lightly against my qualities and good deeds. Say not that I have wrought evil to any man wilfully or with malice. Say not that I am a man of wickedness. Let me not suffer sorrowful remorse in the gloom and darkness, but let me live forever within the region of light. I have done deeds of goodness and led a goodly life. I have overcome the wiles of wickedness and avoided the snares of temptation. I have lived in peace with my neighbors. I have dealt justly and fairly with them, and have not uttered words of malice to stir up strife. I have not gossiped about my neighbors, nor engaged in idle chattering concerning their affairs. These things are not easy, as no man is perfect. I have at times been bad-tempered under provocation. Therefore, speak words that will weigh in the balances against my failings. I have not slandered any man, nor have I willfully caused pain and suffering. I have not caused the widow to weep, nor the child to cry without cause. I have dealt justly with my servants and with the servants of others. I have been loyal to my masters. I have not slain unlawfully, nor wounded any man wilfully. Yet no man is perfect, and when my burdens have weighed heavily upon me, I have spoken harshly. Therefore, speak words that will weigh in the balances against my failings. I have never oppressed a poor man or taken from him what is his by virtue of my position. I have never oppressed the weak or cheated in the substance of metals. I have never said to a hungry woman, "Lay with me, and you shall eat," for this is a vile thing. I have not lain with the wife of another man or seduced a child, for these are abominations. Yet no man is perfect, and few are commanders of their thoughts. Therefore, speak words that will lighten these things in the balances. I have not turned the water of another so that he is deprived of his full measure. I have not stopped flowing waters in their course. I have not kept fodder from cattle, nor allowed the pastures to be neglected. I have not caused any child to know fear without reason, nor have I beaten one in a bad temper. I have not transgressed the statutes of the king. Yet no man is perfect, and sometimes that which is right in its day becomes wrong in another. Therefore, speak words that will weigh in the balances against my wrongdoings. I have not stolen, neither have I taken the possessions of any man by deceit. I have not divided the household of any man, nor separated him from his wife or children. I have not quarreled with any man because of ignorance. I have not turned from my duties or failed in my obligations. I have not hidden my errors or buried my failings. Yet no man is perfect. Therefore, speak words that will weigh in the balances for me. I have never behaved boisterously in a sacred place, nor have I ever defiled one. My hand has not been demanding because of my office, nor have I dealt haughtily with those who came to me with a plea. I have not increased my position by false words or writings. Yet my burden has been increased because of the perversity and willfulness of men, and no man is perfect. Therefore speak words that will weigh in the balances against my weakness. I have not permitted envy to eat my heart, nor malice to corrupt it. I have not been loud of mouth, nor spoken words of boastfulness. I have never slandered another or uttered words of falsehood. My tongue has never escaped from the control of my heart. I have never derided the words of another because they passed my understanding, nor have I stopped my ears to words of enlightenment. I have never hidden myself to observe others, nor have I ever disclosed the secret designs or doings of others, unless they be of evil intent. Yet no man is perfect, therefore speak words that will weigh in the balances for me. When I have done wrong, I have adjusted the scales that weighed down heavily against me. I have not hidden my weakness and failings in dark places, but washed them clean in the sunlight of honest compensation. I have not succumbed to the lures of lewdness, nor has my tongue spoken slyly of things which should be kept private. I have not peeped at nakedness or pried into another's privacy. I have respected the modesty of womankind and the innocent delicacy of childhood. Yet men are, as they are, imperfect, while thoughts stray wilfully and are not easily restrained. Therefore, speak words that weigh in the balance for me. O Great One, protect me. O Kohar, save me. Hear the words of my heart. I was one who was ever mindful of what was right and what was wrong. I did what I thought was right and shunned that which I thought was wrong. I listened to those who were wiser than I and helped those who were less privileged. Can I do more? All right. Chapter 12, Sacred Registers, Part 12. Know me and understand my ways. I am one who sees the past and the future. I look into hidden places. I am one who wanders freely. I am one who can be reborn. I am one who knows the speech of the released. I am the uplifter. The climbers come to me and I support them. I lift them up. I strengthen. Therefore, bring me to the sustenance of smoke. I hear and I hear not. For what I hear is heard by others. I speak and I speak not, for what I speak is in the mouths of others. I weep and I weep not, for my weeping is the weeping of others. I am an uplifter. The climbers come to me and I console them. I enlighten them with my words of hidden wisdom. Thus they find the way. I am one who comes forth when the circle is formed, when the twin lamps have been lit and the incantations made. Come forth from the consecrated place and bear the staff of power. I know the secrets of the dark waters and the secrets of blood. I am a wanderer in strange places. I am one who does not fear to tread the forbidden paths. I am an uplifter. The climber comes to me, and I reveal the way. I am the opener of tombs. I am the dweller in the stone caverns. I am the one who precedes the herald of the companions. I am the swimmer in the waters of wisdom. I am the discoverer of hidden places. I am the one who hovers above the still waters. I am the wanderer with the winds. I am an uplifter. The climbers come to me and are comforted. They thirst and I refresh them. They hunger and I fill them with food. I am the sitter beneath the sycamore. I am the eater of the rowan. I am the heart within the heat of the fire and the eye within the candle of flame. I am the uprising hawk and the contented dove. I am one who has tamed the serpent and drawn forth its secrets. I am one who has many eyes and sees what is written in the night skies, whose ears hear the whispers at the edge of the great waters. I am one whose right foot rests on the earth and whose left foot rests on the firmament. I am one who faces all spirits alike and knows their true nature. I am an uplifter. The climbers come to me and I give them peace. I am one who gazes into the deep, dark pool, reading the things hidden therein. I am the caller forth of the deformed ones and the tongue of the bright ones. I am he of everlasting form. I am he who provides stability to faltering forms and the interpreter who spans the veil. I am an uplifter. The climbers come to me and I provide their guide and their guardian. Know me and understand my ways. Invoke me through the rite of smoke and wine. Call me forth into the circle of stone, but beware, for lest you hold the 7 keys and understand the nature of the 3 rays, you are lost. Chapter 13, The Scroll of Ramket. Awful is the great day of judgment at its dawning in the netherworld. The soul stands naked in the hall of judgment. Nothing can now be hidden. Hypocrisy is no avail. To maintain goodness when the soul reveals its own repulsiveness is futile. To mumble empty ritual is foolishness. To call upon gods who have no existence is a waste of time. In the hall of judgment, the wrongdoer is judged. On that day and henceforth his qualities shall form his food. His soul, soft as clay upon earth, is hardened and set into shape according to its molding. The balances are adjusted. One arrives, the 42 virtues are his assessors. Shall he dwell among beauty as a godling, or be given captive to the keeper of horrors, to dwell among the vile things under a merciful mantle of darkness? One arrives, the twisted body tormented on earth, and the ugly face have gone, discarded at the portal. He strides through the hall in radiance to pass into the place of everlasting beauty. One arrives, now no earthly body shields the horror, which is the true likeness of the evildoer upon earth. He runs from the light, which he cannot tolerate, and hides himself in the shadows near the place of terror. Soon he will be drawn to his compatible place among the dismal company. When arrives, he has been upright and a just one. His failings and weaknesses were of little account. This upright man fears nothing, for he is welcomed among the bright ones, and shall go unhampered among the everlasting lords. When arrives, he trembles before the unseen judges. He is lost, he knows nothing. Earthly knowledge and confidence are left behind. The balance drops. He sees his soul and recognizes his true self. He rushes into the merciful darkness. It enfolds him, and dark arms embrace him, drawing him into the terrible gloom, into the place of dark secret horrors. One arrives, she graced the court with beauty. Men sang of her loveliness and grace. Now, as when a mantle is removed, all is discarded. It is the time of unveiling. Who can describe the lustful thoughts and secret unclean deeds which fashioned the horror coming through the portal? There is a hush among the compassionate. One arrives, on earth she is pitied by the compassionate and scorned by the hard-hearted. There her lot was degradation, servitude, privation, and sacrifice. Few and meager were the gifts from life, yet she triumphed. Now she comes forward surrounded by brilliance. Even the shining ones are dazzled by her beauty. One arrives, the twisted face and pain-wrecked body of the cripple have been left behind. A kind and loving soul dwelt imprisoned within its confines. Now the relieved spirit steps forward into the great hall, unencumbered and free, glorious to behold. One arrives, the splendid body which graced earth remains there, an empty, decaying thing. The naked soul enters the everlasting halls. It is deformed, misshapen thing, fit only to dwell in the merciful gloom of the place, with which it has compatible affinity. One arrives, neither goodness nor wickedness bears down upon the scales. The balances remain straight. The soul departs to the twilight borderland between the region of light and the region of darkness. O great lords of eternity, who once were in the flesh, even as I, hear not the outpouring of an overburdened and sorrowful heart. For who am I to presume to call upon the great God of all? I, who am not without wickedness and weak in spirit. I have filled my heart with knowledge of the secret writings, but still I fear the judgment. Therefore, great lords of eternity, I call upon you, who once walked the earth, even as I, and who, therefore, understand the failings and weaknesses of men. I am not weak in my standing with earthly things, but I am weak beside the greater beings. Will I too ever be worthy of the grandeur of the eternal mansions? O great beings, whose nature is beyond understanding, grant me just a spark of the eternal wisdom, that I might light my soul and kindle the flame of immortal life. What is the destined fate of man who knows the existence of things beyond his understanding? I see, but I do not know, therefore I am afraid. Man can swim against the current towards the bank, but he needs a helping hand to pull him ashore when he is exhausted from the struggle. This is the fate of man. He must strive for that which he cannot attain. He must believe in that which he cannot prove. He must seek that which he cannot find. He must travel a road without knowing his destination. Only thus can the purpose of life be fulfilled. Man may believe he knows his destiny, but he cannot be assured with certainty. In no other way can he fulfill it. In this way alone can his soul be properly awakened to flower with its full potential. This alone he may know. The purpose of all human life is a goal so glorious it surpasses all earthly understanding. We may visualize our individual goals as we will. It is ordained that we have this freedom. How close or how far we are from reality is of little consequence. What is. He who seeks a non existent destination will, nevertheless, get somewhere. He who seeks not at all will get nowhere. Earthly life fulfills itself without attainment. All right, chapter 14, the scroll of Yonah. Away from my eyes, O hideous one, slink back into the dark shadows about the black sunless abode where dwell the self-distorted souls of the fearsomely formed ones. Back to your murky haven of somber compatibility. Away, out of sight, for your repulsiveness brings back into my heart the thoughts of evil and temptations I have encountered and overcome. Thoughts which I now so gladly forget. You poor doomed fiend, misshapen, horny-headed, slit-snouted, stunted in arms and legs, horrible to behold. What dreadful thoughts and unclean deeds must have been yours to fashion you in this manner. Away, back to your own kind, back from the twilit border where you lurk fervently, afraid, pitifully seeking a glimpse of the bright joys denied to your own folly. Back to the place with which you have pitiful affinity, back to your own dark, compatible companions. The guardians of the hidden gates repel you, lest you befoul the pathways of the glorious ones who once struggled to find beauty and cleanliness. The light of this place is ever spreading, and soon a glorious one may walk where you now slink in the gloom. Back from the dividing flame, back into the sand comfort of an enveloping darkness, back to your foul companions in misery, back into the mercifully enshrouding gloom. Your fate saddens my heart. Can you find consolation there, hidden in the comforting darkness? Does a kind word ever lighten the burden of your days? Is there a place of rest among the slime and excreta? O fallen one, who once walked earth so proudly in self-esteem, selfishness, and arrogance, go back, torment yourself no more with the sights of beauty and joy which lie beyond your reach. O wriggler in the slime, back from the purifying flame. What can it avail you now? O repellent one, who by wrongdoing and non-good doing thus cursed yourself and were delivered into the comfortless arms of decay and filth, who on earth appeared a ray in such deceptive softness and complacency, who dwelt amid pleasure and luxury, away back into the shadows, hide yourself from the pure gaze of glorious ones. O squirming one, turn back are you. The shameful flesh is unworthy even of the flame. The unshapely mass unchiseled by forming blows of self-discipline and selfless service, unmolded by the touch of compassion and love, unpolished by conformity to the burnishing blows of sincere goodness, has no place near the region of revealing light. See, are you not seared with pain with the pure light falls upon? See, are you not seared with pain when the pure light falls upon you? Miserable indeed is your lot in that dreary abode. See, your slimy hide shrinks from the pure glare. It splits, it cracks, back into your dark cavern with its floor of slime. Back out of sight, out of hearing, back from the pure gaze of righteousness. How miserable the lot of one who finds unconsoling comfort in the depths of dread darkness lit only by shadowy gloom. How awful to dwell in companionship with distorted shades. What becomes of the loveliness which once clothed you on earth? Whose fault that you brought it not with you? Did you ever pause even for one moment to gaze into the self-revealing mirror within you and see the awful creature you were forming? Amid your pleasures and luxury, did you not think of the well-being of your inner self? Did you not care? Oh, oh, if I could but help you now, but the hideousness was set firm in the furnace fire of death. Then the enveloping flesh was stripped away and the hidden horror within the mold revealed. As the butterfly emerges from the chrysalis, so should the soul emerge from its earthly body. An unnatural thing like this was never intended, yet you freely made the choice. Not a single disfiguring line was made by another. What words are those which rasp forth from the unlipped, fish-shaped mouth? O ears, say you deceive me. O heart, cease this pounding clamor. O hand of horror, release your awful grip. Would that I could swoon, that I could find relief in unconsciousness, but facts have to be faced here as on earth. I must look in trembling terror. Yes, I loved on earth. Nothing there was more precious to me than my sister in love. I forgave her willfulness and was not stirred up when her words were unkind. I ever remained a man of cool temper. I clothed her well, and good food she never lacked. My heart sang in her presence. I rejoiced in her loveliness. She was my life, my wife. She was my life, my wife. Yet she was unfaithful, she was cruel, she found pleasure in deceit and perversion. As the years passed, they became heavy, clouded, and bitter because of her wayward ways. O horror, O terror, O cringing fear, keep away from me. O my eyes, O my heart, it is true, it is the one I loved. O let me die once more, that consciousness may pass from me. It is her whom I loved, she for whom I waited in joyful anticipation, hoping to find the light of my youth, hoping to overlay of later evils would be sloughed away by death, hoping to find the warm, throbbing liveliness I once held. I would gladly have forgiven the pain she caused in her maturity. Oh, what has become of the smooth flesh, the warm touch? Where is the beauty of face, the grace of form? Oh, raise not the crocodile-skinned arms to shield the awful snout, the green-rimmed, red-veined eyes. O racing heart, I hear the misformed words amidst the hiss and gurgle issuing forth from the oozing aperture. I say not that I was so blind, so greatly deceived, that you cared for naught but the earthly things we shared, that your affection was the false front of hypocrisy, your love a lie. Did I not always forgive? Was I not always patient? With whom did you share the terrible thoughts and desires that fashioned you thus? Surely this cannot be the work of your own nature alone. Fickle you were and pleasure-loving, selfish, cruel, and deceitful. But all this I forgave because of the plea of my heart, as this not enough. Oh, where is the companion I awaited, lost and worse than lost? Oh, compassion, oh, mercy, come to my aid. My heart fails me. I cannot face what I thought to greet so joyously. O powers of solitude, strengthen me. What can I do to mitigate the law? Is there hope? Is there a way? A whisper of comfort, oh, gratefully I hear it. There is hope and there is a way, but between this self-shaped horror and the glorious ones, there is an uncrossable chasm. In sorrow and anguish, it must seek a road. It must go its own dark way, as you must go yours in the light. Turn back. Turn again towards the light. The compassion in your own heart does not to bridge the gulf between, unless it strikes a responsive spark within the other heart. Let the memory be erased. This is not the companion of your path. The trials and sorrows borne so well, the uncomplaining unselfishness fashioned you in glory. Nor would you have reached the present degree of perfection had she not been as she was and is now revealed to be. This fearful fate was wrought by the lost one alone, for each is the sole keeper of his spirit. Each soul is fashioned by every thought, desire, and deed, every emotion that touched it during its sojourn is an earthly body. Each is the maker of his own future, the fashioner of his own being. All right, chapter 15, a scroll fragment 1. Salvaged from the great book of the Sons of Fire, this is all that remains of some 16 damaged pages relating to an initiation ceremony. Who will reward or punish me? I will. Who besets my path with sorrow? I do. Who can grant me a life of everlasting glory? I can. Who must save me from the horror of malformation? I must. Who will guide my footsteps through life? I will. Who brings joy into my life and gladdens my heart? I do. Who brings peace and contentment to my spirit? I do. Who lightens the burdens of my labor? None but myself. Whose courage will protect me from the workers of evil? My courage. Whose wisdom will guide me and enlighten my heart? My wisdom. Whose will rules my destiny? My will. Whose duty is it to attend to my wants? My duty. Who is responsible for my future state of being? I alone am responsible. Who shields me from temptation? No one. Who shields me from sorrow and suffering? No one. Who shields me from pain and affliction? No one. Who benefits from my toil and tribulation, my sorrow and suffering? Myself, if wise. Who benefits from my temptations and afflictions, my sacrifices and austerities? Myself, if wise. Chapter 16, the third of the Egyptian scrolls. If a man would know heaven, he must first know earth. Man cannot understand heaven until he understands earth. He cannot understand God until he understands himself, and he cannot know love unless he has been loveless. God is unknown, but not unknowable. He is unseen, but not unseeable. God is unheard, but not unhearable. He is not understood, but he is understandable. The goal of life is upstream, not downstream. Man must struggle against the current, not drift with the flow. A child is born knowing all God intended it to know. The rest it must discover for itself. Man does not live to increase the glory of God. This cannot be done, but to increase the glory of man. He who worships with empty rituals wastes his time and displays the shallowness of his thought. That which man does to benefit man is good, but if he seeks to gratify God, it is a labor of ignorance, showing disrespect for God, whose nature is above that of earthly princes. A lifting hand is worth 10 wagging tongues. Be a man of fortitude and courage, prepare to fight, for earth gives man but two choices, to struggle or perish. There is work to be done in the garden of God. Therefore, cease useless performances and word-wasting discussions. Go, pick up the hoe, and tackle the task to hand. This is the secret of life. Man lives in God, and God lives in man. This answers all questions. Chapter 17, the sixth of the Egyptian scrolls. God is in all, and he encompasses all. There is no God but the true God, and his existence is our assurance of life everlasting. He was before the beginning and will be after the end. He is mighty and all-powerful. In his magnificence and majesty, no man can conceive him. His divine nature is beyond the understanding of man. His creation is awesome, his ways unfathomable. His creative thought brought all things forth, and the power which flows from him is life. He holds life within his mind and the universe within his body. If a man, in ignorance and foolishness, conceives a more understandable God in his own image, or builds gods of wood and stone, that will not take anything away from the structure of God. The Supreme One is ever God, the creator of man, and if man makes earthly gods to worship, then it is man who loses thereby and not God. Among earthly things, man shall find nothing greater than himself. Man worships not to make God greater, for this he cannot do, but to make himself greater. Nothing man can do can add to what God already has. Men conceive God as a being having greatly magnified human qualities, as a king-like being, greater than any king. Thus man falls into error. As the sun surrounds man with light, though it be hidden behind the storm clouds, so is man in the thoughts of God, though God himself be hidden from him. Such is our God, who, though himself eternal, lives with each man, and with him passes through the dark portal of death into the light of the glorious region beyond. God rules over all earths and all spheres. He is in them, and they are in him. All things are in God, and he is in all things. What is, was to be, all things begin and end with God. This alone is wisdom. Understand and live forever. Let me see here. Where do you close that? Chapter 18, Scroll Fragment 2. The Book of Initiation and Rites says of God, all our hopes rest in God, who created all things, sustaining them with his breath, whatever their state, wherever they may be, in this place on earth or in any other place, visible or invisible. He alone causes herbs to blossom in beauty and causes all things to come forth in their proper order and time. All flow from his directing thoughts. The peaceful beauty enfolding the face of the land at eventide, the melody of song and speech, the fragrance of flowers, the soft delicacy of petal and wing. All beauty and charm delights the hearts of men flow from God. His wisdom is unbounded, and his goodness. He has provided all things in which he has created a need in man. The daylight and wind, food and water, heat and coolness, the materials of his dwelling, and the substance of his garments, all things for his daily use and enjoyment. Man lacks nothing, which would increase his skills and knowledge. To all useful things, guideposts have been planted along the way. What need can man know for which God has not already made provision, even before man was born? He has established the nature of all things, so they remain stable and come forth in their proper order without change. When a man sows barley, he knows what will come up out of the ground. The rewards of his toil are not confusion. A man lights a fire knowing it will cook his food. It is not sometimes hot and at other times cold. He knows that day will follow the night and that the hours of darkness are prescribed. It is not a matter of chance. The hours of darkness are not one day long and the next day short. Oil is ordained for lamps and water to drink. Man knows that never can he light a wick with water. Man looks about him and sees order, not confusion, and he knows that where there is organization, there must be an organizer. The ordinances of God are established for the benefit of man. Were they not set in stability, man would be nothing but the plaything of chance and the victim of chaos. Therefore, on the days of feast and fasting, each following in their due season, I will ever remember the obligations due to my God. I will rejoice and sing songs of praise with a full heart. I will shun the hypocrisy of moving lips. I will be joyful in the fullness of spirit at the beginning and at the end of the appointed seasons. The decrees of God are fulfilled at the appointed times, and the days of labor pass one into the other. The season of the first gathering to the full time of harvest, the season of sowing to the seasons of fruitfulness, and pass away as the kiss of the wind of the waters. I will raise my voice, and my hands will move with the music. I will pluck strings and send sweet musical sounds rising to my God, and my breath will fill pipes with tunes to his glory. When the sky blushes in the dawning, I will lift up my voice in gladness, and when it reddens in the evening, I will not remain silent. Oh, how I rejoice that God has made me as I am. Truly, he is in all and encompasses all. In his magnificence and majesty, no man can conceive him, for his divine nature is beyond the understanding of man. His creation is awesome, his ways unfathomable. The love of God for his wayward children has been limitless and unbounding. It has remained changeless throughout the ages, filled with his noble purpose. He created so that he might express and share that love, which is the very essence of his nature, which belongs created in his likeness, beings which could absorb and reflect that love. Yet, that his love might be wholly free, man has endowed with free will, the free will he has used perversely. Chapter 19, a hymn from the Book of Songs 1. Bring forth the instruments of music, let all voices be raised in thanksgiving to the Lord of our lives. Be happy in heart and let joyfulness flow from your lips, but remain in stillness while the hands move. Peace and honor be yours, O Great One, shadow of our days, comforter of our nights, to whom alone we pay homage. Long ago the sky door opened, and you appeared over the land in the days of our forefathers, shaking it with your wrath, but now you are hidden. Your awesome glory is seen no more. We, your children, rejoice, for you bring peace and spread contentment and security over the whole face of the earth. Heaven and earth and all the spheres of your infinite spaces are filled with your spirit. The demons of darkness tremble before you, yet to us you are truly the mysterious hidden one, the guide of our fathers in the sad days of darkness when the face of the sun was veiled in gloom from the eyes of men. You pour out goodness, bringing fresh water to the green pasture lands, bestowing life upon all beasts and living creatures therein. Through the blessing of your bounty, even the parched lands drink unceasingly in their season. You are the bestower of bread, for you cause the corn to increase and the harvest to be plentiful. You are the supplier of reeds and the provider of fish. Every craftsman is prosperous and deft when under the guidance of your hand. Your eye directs the hammers of the smith. Your hand covers the fingers of the potter. Your creating breath is inhaled by the craftsman, so he is inspired to create an object of beauty. You whisper on the breeze, and the hearts of men are filled with a gladness, which issues from their mouths as joyous song. You move the brush of the painter and direct the pen of the writer. You are the warden of the fishes within the waters, and you direct them into the nets of the fishermen. You are the watchman who keeps the waterfowl away from the field sown at the rising of the bountiful waters. You are the lookoutman at the eye of the barge moving safely over the flowing waters. You are the director of the energy-giving breezes which press against the sails. Your hand rolled the corn grains, and your life-giving breath sucks up the green-growing shoots. Your fingers unfold the unawakening buds. Firm will hold stones in stability so the great buildings endure through the ages. Nothing can escape your vigilance, and rest is unknown to you. Eternal activity is the essence of your nature. You are the ever-watchful one, the great bearer of the scales, the unchanging guardian of the helpless and the protector of the poor. Those who fill these roles on earth do them in your name, for you are the motivation and power behind their deeds. Were you non-existent, men would devour one another like crocodiles, while justice and mercy would be things unknown. Something intangible and unseeable flows out from you and rules the lives of men, causing men to deal justly with one another. For though injustice is part of the fabric of life, it is not dominant, and your power mitigates its effects. You caress the face of the land, and at your touch the womb of earth is open. Green growth springs through the soil and reaches up towards the sun. All creatures move about according to your design, and by your decree their lives are directed. You paint the patterns of life and design its destinies. Though the prince lay his head on a pillow of down, and the beggar lay his on an unyielding stone, both sleep alike on your bosom. The sleep of the rich man is no better than that of the poor man, while the sleep of the laborer is better than that of the idler. The night frightener does not haunt the dreams of those who have paid their debts to the taskmaster of the day. Those who spend their days in idleness sleep in a restless bed. Thus you have ordained that the scales of life be adjusted. All is balanced in your hands. Your spirit moves over the earth, instructing the bee in the gathering of its honey and the hornet in the making of its nest. It directs the ant in the complex design of its cavern and the swallow in its mud gathering. It guides the birds in their season and calls the locusts at the appointed times. Each creatures have their unlearned wisdom, which is an outpouring force emanating from your spirit. When you fill the earth with the shining light which rules the day under your command, all men rejoice, for by this all things are increased and food comes forth in abundance. Then the lady of the night rules the darkness, and all is hushed in mellow coolness. Hearts are filled with tranquility and content. You fulfill all the needs of men, for you are the great provider. Men labor in the fields and fill the storehouses with grain, but you provide the increase. You are the ever bountiful one. Yet with all you give, never is your substance lessened. You remain everlastingly the same. Man has naught but what originates with you. It is your waters of life, everlastingly flowing, that sustain him. Eternal glory be yours, my God and my life. I sought you in many temples, only to discover that there was one God hidden behind all other gods, that you are indeed the Father of gods, yet the maker of none of them. You have illuminated the widespread universe with beauty and filled it with awesome, imperishable grandeur beyond description. So great are your works above that they must be veiled, so we can comprehend them only dimly, lest we be overcome. Before times, many great men have praised you in error, not knowing what was good for them. They sought to attain the things which fed the flesh alone. O great one, show such as these the error of their ways, giving them not the good things of life, but making all better men, that they may be worthy of these. You have loved us with an exceedingly great love, having compassion on our many failings and weaknesses, knowing that men are but frail creatures prone to go astray. O God of gods, for the sake of our fathers who placed their trust in you, to whom you gave the ordinances of life, be merciful to us. Instruct and guide us along the paths we should follow. Lead us through the many entanglements of earthly life, so we may finally come to rest in your safe keeping. All right, chapter 20, a hymn from the Book of Songs 2. O great and bountiful one, who is the fountainhead of glory and the eternal spring of power, who sits enthroned in wisdom, whose counsel is the law, great are the manifestations of your wrath when it purges the land, even as it was done in the days of our fathers. Yet we weak, wayward, and willful men know in the depth of our hearts that whatever you do is done in justice and in our ultimate benefit. With inscrutable wisdom, you prepared a compatible place for the spirits of men, and a place encompassing the domain of man, a place wherein man rules under the decrees of your everlasting and unchanging law. You have set the boundaries, and they are held back, neither troubling nor oppressing us beyond our endurance. The spirits of men rule in the mysterious domains governing the sun and the moon, the stars and the night watchers, the mistmen and the hidden caves of power. They undertake their appointed tasks there and are wave wanderers of the watery wastes, guardians of the deep. You have created man in the likeness of an original conceived in your mysterious abode, and the manner of his life is fixed according to your plan. Great and wonderful is the ultimate destiny of man, who as yet has progressed but a few steps along the road towards the goal of life. Yet you have opened his ear to mysteries and wonderful things. You have revealed strange mysteries to his eye. He knows things unbelievable in olden times. This being on whom you have conferred so much is a thing of weakness and frailty. He was shaped from moistened clay and molded in water, then set upon a mold in the midst of the great chaos. His eyes were shown the glory above, but he wearied of looking, for such splendor was beyond his comprehension. Therefore, he sought his pleasures among the things from whence he came, and therein he now finds his delight. So he sits on a pedestal of shame down by the polluted spring. His repast comes from the pot of fornication, and he is clad in the garments of wickedness. Great one, you who are all wise know the words which come forth from his lips. You know the fruit of his mouth, the pollen of his tongue. Be merciful to man and overlook his weakness, for he is as he was made, and perchance so he was meant to be. Who can question the mystery? May your will prevail. Chapter 21, the Sunsetting Hymn from the Book of Songs. O great God, unbounded by earthly limitations, your will is an eternal mystery, and your deeds confound the minds of men. Men worship you. The lesser gods pay due homage, while they who are between gods and men devote themselves to your service. Highest of gods, Lord of men, ancient Lord of life and light, creator of the tree of life, who made the herb and fruit to nourish men and grass to feed the cattle, who perfumed the flowers and gave birds their gay plumage. Hail to the supreme power and spirit, maker of all that exists in all the spheres above and below, the essence of whose spirit is in all things. Ruler of all the regions of light and master of the neither regions, great fountainhead of wisdom, whose abode is in truth, who fashioned men so they accord with your own nature, who gave rare abilities to animals and instilled cunning knowledge into insects, who chose the colors of the flowers and the songs of the birds. O veiled one, whose sanctuary is hidden in the breasts of men, whose temple is open to the heavens and hung about with the stars. O mighty one, hear the cry of my spirit as it seeks nourishment from the divine source. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. Great fashioner of earthly things, who came into being before all else, whose sacred name none can know, whose likeness is not displayed in writings, and whose image is not carved in wood or stone, whose eyes were the pattern for the sight of men, and whose sensitivity generated their touch, whose tongue gave speech to the little gods, who made their herbage for cattle and the waterweed for fish, who feeds even the worms and the insects and quickens the life within the egg, who fashioned wild fruits for the birds and wild seed for the mice, who sustains the life force within every living thing, up to the heights of heaven, across the wide breadth of earth, down to the very depths of the sea. O save me from that which is beneath the earth and from those upon the earth who would work wickedness against me. Hear me, and my God, I shall praise you. My voice will rise up to heaven and roll right across the earth. All those who ply the great mothering river shall hear its echoes. I will tell of your goodness and greatness to my children and to their children. My words will resound down through the generations as yet unborn. Respond to me, O Great One, as I seek to commune in the silence. My desire is to learn, but you are too mysterious for men to understand. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. O help my soul to rectify its evil deeds and balance them with good. Destroy every form of evil which clings to me, and let there be nothing in my soul to cause malformation and thus estrange me from my friends who have departed to dwell in the happy land of dawn. Let brightness be my new life's birthright, and let my spirit be ever light. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. The great dome of heaven rises above, and no man knows its limitations. The broad earth is spread wide, and no man knows its boundaries. Man cannot fathom it all. O God, who is great, have compassion on my littleness. Bear patiently with my blunderings, and overlook my ignorance. Your reach is so great, and mine is so small. Help me to know you for myself. I am helpless and lost. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. O God, who brings comfort to the prisoner, peace to the tormented, who strengthens the fearful and adjusts the scales between the weak and the strong. Strengthen my desire to understand your great purpose. O soul God, whose tears vitalize the hearts of men, in reverence and humility my spirit awaits your command, my creator and my light. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. O great craftsman who fashioned man so wonderfully, who brought together the elements of the earth and transmuted them so mysteriously, who created with such diversity that no two things are exactly alike, give your servant some task that he may accomplish it to your glory. O provident benefactor, who provides sustenance for the beasts of the wilderness and fills the storehouses of men, who placed the great metals in the bosom of the earth, that men might draw them forth. Let not my body go naked, nor my sleeping place be destroyed. Accept my homage, O God of truth, who lives down through the ages of time, which makes up the everlasting circle of eternity. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. O powerful God, whose wrath lit up the vaults of heaven and whose fire devoured the wicked in olden times, whose whirlwind swept clean the earth, who lifted the seas and dashed them against the mountains. O let not the great forces of earth afflict me. Hold them fast in your hand, that they may not crush me as the chariot crushes the ant. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. Having an affinity with you, my soul knows you and rejoices in the knowledge. It hears you and is at peace. It opens in response to your warmth as the lotus and awakens softly as the day opens its eye to the night. My soul knows what I know not. It sees into hidden places and understands deep mysteries. Let me know its nature better, that it may instruct me in wisdom. My soul swells with gratitude towards the bounteous being, who causes all things to be, which fulfill all desires. My God is not graven in marble or stone. He is not shaped in wood or cast in copper. He has neither offerings nor mistrations. My God is a God of quiet places and silences. He is found where the wild winds blow and the gay flowers blossom. Away from the habitations of men, he is not worshipped in temples, and his praises are not sung by the unthinking multitude. My God is a constant companion. He lives quietly in the homes and hearts of men. His true abode is unknown. He has no painted shrine, no building fashioned by the hands of men could contain him. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. O ever watchful God, the all-seeing one, if aught be done or concealed in the darkness of the night, it shall be known to you. O supreme power, who alone can deflect the awesome ones of heaven from their path of destruction, who alone can turn aside the sky boulders and break the winds of the hurricane, I acknowledge you as my sole God, the guide of my ways and the guardian of my life. I will call upon you by your names of power. I give you your degrees, O Lord, over the thrones of earth, director of the destinies of nations, ancient dweller in the heavens, Lord of existence, Lord of terrors, master of the hidden spheres, commander of the universal hosts, Lord of the law, wherein your will is manifested, victor in the sky fight, creator of the hidden desires of the soul, great one who mysteriously fashions his body as men fashion their souls, giver of life to souls by whose breath they awaken, selector of the generative substances, transformer of matter, keeper of the eternal essences, ruler of the spirits in their spheres, he who hears the prayer of the prisoner who stands between the weak and the strong, Lord of fertility, for whom the great mothering river flows and waters rise, Lord of the tree of life, emperor of the sacred spheres, who dispenses the celestial substance, who directs the thunderbolts, who pilots the stars in the skyways, who overlooks the watchers in the night. Great guardian of hidden things and master of the divine secrets, whose domain is shrouded in mystery, who makes tender the hearts of women and makes stern the faces of men, dweller in the deep obscurity, whose sanctuary is infinite, who died in the effort of creation and was reborn in the soul of man, great God, whose face shall be revealed in the future, when all men are wise, grant me your truth and peace divine. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. Though I falter on the way and fail at the task, despise me not. I try, but success eludes me. I seek, but cannot find. I am so small, and you are so great that I cannot span the gulf between us. That I cannot span the gulf between unless you incline towards me. O great Spirit, how near men are to you in reality. Through the darkness of ignorance greater than night, they have groped a way to you. You alone are addressed in the prayers of men. To whatever men pray, you alone hear their petitions. You alone can answer them. Only for you are their words of praise fitting. O Great One, enter into the hearts of men and renew the bond with their souls. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. O mysterious God hidden in time, great ruler of the ages, we who cannot know more than the smallest part of your creation turn to you for help and enlightenment. If it be your will that man should struggle towards understanding and strive for knowledge, then so be it. Man will do whatever he must do. O great God, be patient with him in his failures and failings. Hail to the supreme power and spirit. Chapter 22, a hymn of prayer from the book of Songs 3. Great One in heaven, whose thoughts probe the hearts of men, cast forth a small ray of illumination to light my way in the darkness of man's ignorance. Strengthen me by your revelation, that for even a brief moment I may see the truth and know the mysteries of life. I ask not to see as the great ones have seen, but just for something within my understanding. O great God, send me one bright shaft of light that I may see, silhouetted as in a flash of lightning, the forces that wage war for the possession of my soul. For what mortal unaided can understand or visualize the dark things that lurk to lure the soul along the path of horror, such as the demons waiting to twist the weak soul into coils of frightfulness before casting it into the abyss of terror. Lord of the universe, take pity on me. Everything lies in your great hand except the fate of each man, and men are frail and weak. Many who have seen truth revealed have quailed before the awful responsibilities of man and consoled themselves by fashioning unnatural gods, before whom they quelled the fears in their hearts. I am not one worthy to gaze upon truth, nor do I desire to do so, lest I be overwhelmed. Perhaps I ask too much from one who reads the hearts of men. O great illuminated one, keep me from the final horror which lies in wait to devour the souls of men. Help me in the dread hour when I come face to face with my own soul. O save it from the abode of the dark warden of terrors. What are the great mysteries of man's destiny so dimly perceived even by the illuminated ones? Have mercy on my dismal ignorance, or I am delivered into the toils of my own repulsiveness. What is the great secret whispered so fearfully among the great columns? What are the substances wherewith men may pass through the great portal and return to life? Is it true that the destiny of man is determined by man? Oh, what fearful responsibility! My heart is overwhelmed and my spirit becomes weak with dread. Is it for this that men shun the truth and cast themselves out your feet for mercy, at your feet for mercy? I fear for my soul is heavy with evil, and the scales will bear down against me. Will it be stamped with the dread impress of condemnation by the 42 seals? Place your hand in mercy upon the balances, and let my soul be made light. O great one, hidden within the eternal silence, who shines forth as a beacon of light to few men, O lighten our darkness and our fear-shadowed hearts. Lift the veil just slightly, that we may understand something of your greatness. We are not uninstructed and know we can be granted no more than a glimpse of your greatness. For to receive more would be too awesome for the frail constitution of man. This is why the ignorant doubt, for their very ignorance spawns the frailty, which inhibits their enlightenment. We hardly dare murmur these fervent words, O Great One, grant the spirit within us may be helped to cleanse itself of the besmirching foulness spawned by our thoughts. Remove from us every trace of that which may pollute, and let us know timeless splendor and glory. Chapter 23, a hymn from the Book of Songs 4. I am here, I am yours, I sing your praises. Join the dance, O priests and priestesses. Join the dance, O sky travelers who cover the earth with your rays of power. Join the dance, O strangers. Accept our offerings and salutations, accept our devotions, and make them successfully beneficial. Move around moonwise, O priests and priestesses. Stamp on wickedness, stamp on hypocrisy. Stamp your feet on malice and hatred. Sound the flutes, blow the pipes, shake the bells. Come, stamp on the head of pride. Stamp on the foul fiend of lust. Melody and music ring me about in a protecting wall. I am one who rises over the fallen. Hail, O overlooking, all-seeing power, I am yours, I am a chosen one, I am gifted with strength, I am thrice gifted with strength, I am filled with the sacred essence, I have partaken of the cup of joy, I am pure, I am pure, I am pure. I see the light of the east, the arrow of all-embracing love. I see the light of the south, the arrow of all-comforting benevolence. I see the light of the west, the arrow of everlasting hope. I see the light of the north, the arrow of all-consoling comfort. Let the golden bow speed the arrows of my desire. I am still. I worship the hollowed limbs. The heavenly hosts gather as swallows for the flight, as storm clouds for the downpour. Before the sacred shrine, I renew my strength. I free myself from all earthly desires, from all bodily passions, of all soul-eating lusts, of all soul-destroying vices. Now I see the rainbow-hued radiance of the real within the unreal. Now I see true, where before I saw what was not and heard what was not. I was deceived by my body, I was deluded by my feelings. Now I see things not seeable by unaided mortal eyes. I hear things beyond mortal hearing. O Great One, O Radiant One, O Timeless Knower, O Limitless Viewer, O Majestic One, with a form of indescribable beauty. I have seen you through the veil, I have glimpsed the reflection of eternity, I am free. I, your son, bow humbly before you, Lord. My heart is pure. I proclaim my loyalty to my neighbor on my right and my neighbor on my left. I see the meat, I see the tripod, I see the knife, all is ready. Come, benevolent spirits, gather about the flame, hover over the bowl. To you, in whom resides the power to appear in any form or shape desired, come. Come as welcome guests. Before the place of awe I stand unafraid, for those who are damned to sorrow and horror cannot approach within the barrier. They await in jealous hate without. They who come up from the dismal depths. Away, foul spirits of the damned. Away, O self-destroyed ones. O great representative, the court is purified. I now see the flame like radiance. Brothers and sisters, do you see it too? I see the radiant risen ones who have torn aside the veil for the brief moment. I see things of overwhelming splendor. Bring incense, bring water, bring salt, and bring the offering flame. Chapter 24, a hymn from the Book of Songs 5. I believe in you, great God of life, Lord of the kingdom of light, dweller in the eternal silences. From the center of your domain there is an outflowing which sustains all life, and in you rest the hopes of all the men. You are the ruler of the spheres, and your dominion is unchallengeable. Under your benevolent guidance, earth continues to exist and hold together, changing for naught but the benefit of man. We are your children, and you are our Father. I believe in the sacred spirit of inspiration which enters the hearts of men, flowing out from you and joined with you, and yet separate, the spirit to whom our fathers of old gave the greatest reverence, the beautiful one, the gentle one, the inspirational one, who first taught men to love and who drew aside the veil to show them beauty. I believe in the great kingdom beyond earth, where in the place of light the souls of men, if worthy, find a perfection not known here. The light, which is in the region beyond the veil, is not as earthly light. It has a sustaining quality. It is a vitalizing light indescribable in earthly words. O great dweller in the vast silences, which are not as the silence known on earth, who attends this sacred place, where men gather in devotion. We who are here see you revealed as a beacon light for those whose hearts dwell in the darkness of ignorance. We rejoice in the strengthening emanation which flows outwards towards those with the wisdom to attract and absorb it. Here in the hidden place, we, your servants, are gathered, and we bow before you, O Great One. We bow in humility, not in servility. We bow in recognition of our earthly limitations. We are overcome with awe and can but stand in worshipful silence before the vision of your glory. It shines before our eyes, and our mouths cannot open. Here on this sacred ground, we hardly dare to utter the words of prayer, for the sentences formed by men are so unworthy of their purpose when used and spoken before you. Man is limited in knowledge, in understanding, and in ability. It is the recognition of this which makes him humble. O Great One who understands even the speech of the dumb man, help us to expand our knowledge and understanding. We, for our part, will not remain inactive, but will ever sincerely struggle to reach out towards you, striving even to extend beyond our limitations. Were it otherwise, we would be dishonest in seeking your help. Help us to remove the disfiguring stains upon our everlasting spirit, and when earthly life is renewed in us, let us not be too disadvantaged. Teach us to pray without prayerfulness, so that the taint of self-seeking is eliminated. When we petition, let this not be in the spirit of selfishness. All right. Chapter 25, Fragment 1. O enfolded sleeping soul, unaware of the life fountain within from which you may drink, unfeeling of the throbbing life and all about us, now is your hour. Prepare yourself for the great awakening. The bright light of wisdom awaits to encircle you as you stand before the awful door within the sacred temple of mystery. that the light of truth may be a sure guide amidst the dark gloom of earthly life, a certain aid enabling you to find the way of your eternal spirit. You are not unknowing of your inner wisdom. It is the key to everlasting life in the glorious place beyond the western veil. O live, my soul, awaken, hear me. Let not my love and my sacrifice be in vain. Let not all my hopes turn to dust within the tomb. Can love become soil and hope become sand? Never, for the grave is not the destination of the sublime attributes which ennoble the nature of man. Man is as a flame burning in water, as it is written on the pillars without. His soul is as the rosebud awaiting the kiss of the sun to awaken it to bloom. His nature is as the day, which is ever accompanied by the night. Fragment 2. I will praise the nameless God, who is the true God, the knower of every name. Hail, great overseer of earth. The high heavens will hear the sound of my voice, and its loudness shall ring across the widespread land. It shall resound throughout the red land. My song shall ride on the wings of the wind, and my gladness shall whisper into the ear of the air. Hail, great overseer of earth. I shall seek diligently for enlightenment and knowledge, that I may proclaim the ways of the true God among people, for they are mysterious ways not easily understood. Man wallows in a quicksand of ignorance, and only by extreme effort can he extricate himself. Great overseer, grant me the ability to understand. Hail, great overseer of earth. I say to the people, declare the great one to your children, to the high-born and to the lowly ones, who dwell together under the same sun, to the generations as yet unborn. Sing songs that will echo down the corridors of time. Hail, great overseer of earth. Sing his praises with the birds of the air. Tell of him to the fishes in the waters, to the creatures which bide in the ground, and to the things which walk and crawl above it. Hail, great overseer of earth. Declare him unto all, for he is the God of all. He is the great compassionate one, whose wrath declines with the setting sun, and in the morning departs with the dawnlight mists. Hail, great overseer of earth. Sometimes in the lonely night watches I wonder, have you turned your face from me? What have I done that you are unresponsive? Have I ever lived otherwise than in accordance with your word? O great overseer of earth, what is your will for me? Fragment 3. O great one, everlastingly considerate of our needs, overseer and taskmaster of mankind, look down upon us with compassion, and lay not too great a burden upon us, your dutiful servants. Labor we must, for thus we prepare for a higher state of being, but bear with us, for sometimes we grow weary and falter at the task. Here we have fallen victims of our own wiles, Here we have fallen victims of our own wiles. We have hopelessly snarled up the threads of our existence, so we know not how to loosen the knots we ourselves have tied, and so free ourselves. We are entangled in a net of our own weaving. Let us, your servants, look to you, the great one, for aid. Our destinies are held in the hollow of your hands, while the future is visible to you, as is writing upon an open scroll. The glorious ones worship you with service and serve through following the words of guidance. Thus the earthbound spirits worship you, the shades of the departed worship you, and the whole of creation worships you. We, your servants, offer our continual and everlasting devotion to your service. We are not as others, O Great One, for we Know well that worship and devotion mean service and expended effort, not mere words and ritual. Your spirit governs the breezes that comfort mankind. You send the fertilizing rains. Your spirit quickens the seed within the womb of earth. The songs of the birds are inspired by knowledge of you, and the wild beasts rejoice in the sustenance provided. You are the universal being, the rain cloud overshadowing the earth, the one dwelling in the cave of the heart within all breathing creatures. You are the weaver of the warp and woof of life. Fragment 4. I praise the one who eats evil, the disposer of earthly residue. He who sustains the devoted followers of the deathless one, in whom all merge on leaving the body. For the day comes when we discard all that is of earth, when we recognize and realize that all remaining is the pure and sacred spirit, boundless and free as the winds. I praise the one who eats evil, the disposer of earthly residue. He who sustains the devoted followers of the deathless one, who is with us everywhere and in all things, in whom is all, though not himself the all, who sees and hears all, who knows and understands all, but whom none tied to earth can know, who projects his word of power, so that it is within all and holds all things together in stability. I praise the one who eats evil, the disposer of earthly residue, he who sustains the devoted followers of the deathless one, who created all things and thus became his own creator. Who created all things and thus became his own greater self, who clothed himself in the universe as with a garment. Fragment 5. O great spirit, I would see the vast face of the earth as you behold it. I would know how the seed is quickened, so that it grows into the plant, and how the fowl comes forth from the egg. What is added to the egg what is added to the egg to give it the power to reproduce life? I would touch your great body born of the breath from the eternal source, and watch your thoughts creating and molding all things to shape step by step. I would see the links of heaven and earth and rest one hand in each. I would see the thread that binds yesterday, today, and tomorrow, so all are one and parts of the whole. I would see the appointed place of every living man and understand why. I would see the purpose of every beast and every plant, every tree, and everything that flies and crawls. I would know gladness with the children as they play and go singing on the way to their places of instruction. I would watch birth and death and solve their mysteries. I would know the depths of hatred and the heights of love. I would journey the adventurous path of love hand in hand with another. I would know its secret, its delights, and their shadows, and the secrets of its silences. I would know the beginning and the end and understand what links them. I would see the chain of the years and the necklace of the days. I would know the purpose of it all. Then, knowing all these, I would know you at last, O Great Spirit. Fragment 6. O true God, by whom the worthy are guided in all they undertake, who rises as a beacon in the darkness for the lowly, grant us, your servants who put their trust in you, strength to overcome all the doubts and uncertainties which rise in our hearts as frightening shadows arise in the night. Let us sip the waters from the inexhaustible well of wisdom, that we may not move along false paths to encompass our own destruction. For we cannot see the way in the enveloping darkness, and confusing voices shout this way or that way. We are bewildered, for we know not which one is right. Can there be so many ways? We are not men of great learning or high position. We do not sit among princes, being among the lowliest in the land. Yet it is we who carry the burdens of the people. We feed the hungry and provide for the widow and orphan. Ours are the aching backs and weary feet. Ours the naked body and empty bowl. Those who are concerned with higher things sit at tables of plenty. Those seemingly unworthy rejoice amid prosperity and plenty. Those who take are given more, while those who give are marked. We see these things, and doubt enters our thoughts. We ask one another, why is this the order of things? Is it the will of our God? Then we seek for an answer in all sincerity and with productive effort, and the great God above all does not remain mute. Fragment 7. O God, hear my prayer, for I have gone into the great recesses within me and await a response from out of the enveloping silence and tranquility. The restlessness and discontented of life I have left at the portal. I have closed the door to the outer things of life. Give ear, O my soul, to the whispers from the silence. Close out the clamor of earth and hearken to the soft voice which echoes from the far reaches of eternity. Hear without ears the wordless voice of truth. Close the eyes of the flesh that the greater eye may see in the inner darkness. Enter into the inner temple and await the revelation of heavenly secrets. Shut out the clamoring senses that demand expression in sensual pleasures. Then, when all outer doors are closed and all inner doors open, speak to me and I will hear your voice. Tell me the secrets of the ages, and my spirit will dwell in contentment forever. This alone I ask and no more. It is sufficient for one lifetime. Fragment 8. O Great One on high, have pity on us, for we are hopelessly ensnared by our complete lack of things needed to sustain the body. Without sustenance, our spirits are restless, our hearts cannot find peace. We do not desire foolish things, of pleasurable or vain things, but just the things without which we cannot live. Though we lack all things, we do not turn our faces from you, for we know well that in your bounty all men are provided for, and the earth is full of richness. It is not you who take away the things needed to sustain our lives, but those made in our own likeness, our own brother men. They deny meat to the hungry and drink to the thirsty, though they themselves are gorged in fullness and bloated with good things. Be merciful to them, instruct and enlighten them with your chastising afflictions. Thus they may come to know that man needs man, and each man is brother to all others. Others have reaped where we have sown, and others sleep where we have built, because of the statutes of men. Therefore met out naught but justice, that we may be fed and clothed and have a place to rest our heads. Fragment 9. O God teaches us in so many strange ways in this great place of instruction called earth, who sets us tasks to an end which we cannot foresee, and who tests us to measure our abilities and to try our courage and fidelity. Instruct us so we may better understand the bitter lessons which purge from our natures all which is unwholesome to the spirit. Strengthen us so we may bear all things without complaint and conduct ourselves manfully under the strict discipline of this unique place of instruction. Open the eyes of understanding within us that we may benefit by every experience and not waste time bewailing our lot. Tell us so we may know, instruct us in our duties in the battle line, so that when we are called upon to take our appointed place, we shall not shirk the clash. Toughen us on the training ground of adversity, so that we may be stronger for the fray. When the day of battle comes upon us and cowards flee before the strength of our adversary, when the valiant ones kiss the dust at the portals of glory, let our place be where the battle rages most fiercely and the blows fall thickest. If we faint, may we still remain faithful. If we are exhausted, may we remain dauntless. If our hour come and we fall before the onslaught, may it be with weapons in hand and face to the foe. We fight the fight where the victor can be the vanquished and the vanquished the victor, for here the fight is the end and not the victory. He who serves the end will justly claims no. He who serves the end will justly claims the fruits of victory. We cannot ask to win, but we can ask to be made strong if we struggle for strength. We cannot ask to remain unhurt, but we do ask for courage. We cannot ask to be supported in weakness, but we can ask for the fortitude to endure. We stand firm-footed, grim-faced to the foe. The ranks of wickedness encompass us about, but we will surge forward with closed ranks, carrying all before us until we come to rest in the presence of victory. O God, supreme among spirits, watch over us in the struggle, for we are your children. Fragment 10. This is my prayer, O Great Spirit, accept my prayer. O dweller in the pure region of truth, hear me. O great fountain of wisdom, hear me. O comforter and companion of the soul silences, hear me. I, your son, come into your presence with faith and humility. Grant that my spirit be admitted into the glorious audience chamber between the two regions. I, your son, come into your presence with faith and humility. O supreme source of the great form-holding rays, grant me a hearing, O great one seated on the celestial throne behind the great solar disk, hear me. All homage to you, great God, master of the bodies of men. I, your son, come into your presence with faith and humility. My every thought and deed are dedicated to your service. These things are written clearly in my heart and are not mere puffs of wind from my mouth. Fragment 11. Lord of my heart, hear me now as I stand in communicating silence before the listening shrine. You are the great one who existed before the upheaval of the mountains, who tore apart the land and waters in the infant years of man. For in your sight 1,000 great years are as an hour in the heat of the day, or as a watch in the coolness of the night. You are the timekeeper in eternity and warden of the ages. You reap men as corn is reaped at the harvest and sweep them away as floodwaters cleanse the land. For man is like unto the grass of the field. In the morning it grows full of vigor, gaily bedecked with the gems of morning dew. In the eventide it is cut down to wither in the night. The day is not important if men live by the hour, fulfilling in each its appointed task. Fragment 12. When the dread messenger calls for you, let him not find you ill-equipped and unprepared. In the final hour, which must surely come, there will be no opportunity for fine speech, and naught can delay his imperious command. Then all the possessions you have cherished and stored will be as naught, and all you will be able to take with you will be that which you have fashioned within. Do not be numbered among the foolish who say, time enough, for I am yet young. Death claims the breast child as well as the aged, and on this you should ponder. Consider well your future estate. Here you are the architect of your future abode. The plans prepared here are carried out in another place. Earth is the place of sowing. Heaven is the place of reaping. Here you are the sculptor who chisels the statue. the potter who fashions the pot, the woodworker who carves the pillar. What is there on earth more deserving of your care and attention than your own future form and appearance? Do you recklessly hew or willfully cut? Do you heedlessly pound the pliable clay and carelessly fashion the unfired pot? Do you mix the colors with proper thought? What manner of things are you fashioning in this great workshop? A beauteous being arrayed in radiant splendor, or a hideously foul fiend, which can do naught but squirm in the slime of its fitting abode? Whom will you praise for your prudence or curse for your lack of foresight? Who can force you to deal tenderly and responsibly with the slumbering child of your own self, or prevent you from carelessly and willfully shattering all hopes for its future well-being? Fragment 13. Rejoice, all cities beside the waters. Be joyful, all people in the land, for great things have come to pass. Behold, the foe is scattered in confusion. They are no more. They are eaten up. Victory is within us. All praise to our commanding Lord. Hail the great leader. Hail the source of power in the land. Live forever in glory, O mighty fighter. Let us rest in the shade of your greatness. Let us dwell under your shadow, under the protection of your right arm. You have given us that which we never thought to know again. Men sit in peace, speaking freely one with another. They walk abroad with light steps, and their heads are held high. Men look their fellow men in the eye, and there is none to jostle them. They are delivered from the shadow of fear, and confidence is renewed in them. The fortresses are no longer overflowing with fighting men, and all throughout the land no well is forbidden to the thirsty. All may drink freely where there is water. Men come and go across the wilderness carrying the burdens of trade, and no one falls upon them to plunder. Men journey peacefully along the lonely roads, and no one waylays them to rob. Traders cross the barren places and are unmolested. No one rises against them. Bearers of messages no longer hasten about, pale of face and frightened. They no longer carry doleful tidings. They no longer bear words of fear. Their coming no longer causes the knee to tremble and the stomachs to fail. Now the messenger loiter in shady places, remaining there until the night watch calls, for there is no urgency in the words they carry. The fighting men rest, their hazardous days have gone. The bow, the sword, the spear, and the shield have been laid away in the weapon stores. Men walk freely, they talk gaily, for they are not overshadowed with fear, neither do they tremble for fear of molestation. The faces of the border guardians are no longer haggard with sleeplessness, nor are their eyes tired and strained with watchfulness. Throughout the whole land there is content and tranquility. The herds are large and sleek. They are no longer tense and restless. The flocks graze contentedly in their green pastures. The fowls are no longer alert and noisy, but squabble playfully, chasing one another through the dust. The voices of men are no longer hoarsened with war cries. Instead, they can be heard singing as each goes about his appointed task. The doleful wailing of women who mourn their dead is no longer heard, and widows no longer proclaim themselves. The husbandman sows contentedly, knowing that where he sows, he shall also reap. He no longer doubts that he will enjoy his own harvest. The face of God is once more inclined favorably towards us. Even the lesser gods look again upon the land with favor. The reign of Saku is over. He no longer overshadows the lives of men. All is well in the two lands. Fragment 14. Praise our own God with joyous and grateful hearts. He has shown himself among us. He will come again in his season. All is well with us. His desire brings forth the green growing things, and the land is clothed in its gay mantle. His hand guides the stars. His mind contains all things that fly above the earth, and all things that walk and crawl upon its face. We praise you, great eternal one, whose forms are so many. We kiss the ground before you. All the sacred beings and sacred things men worship are but manifestations of their groping through the clouds of ignorance to understand you. Have pity on them, for they were born into darkness and mysteries, but their hearts are good. Each day you bring some new things to the attention of men and place before them problems to unravel. The nature of men ever inclines them towards the path of ease and passiveness. Therefore, they tend to shun things which are truly profitable. Therefore, deal with men in a manner best fitting for the progress towards truth. Fragment 15. Neither life nor love ends at the grim portal. The strength of the invisible bond between two souls binds them even after death. That which binds strongest of all is the love which is sincere, true, and constant. Such love endures through tribulations and trials. If one you love has departed through the western gates into the great halls of eternity, then be comforted by the words of truth. This you will then know, that the guardian at the grim portal is no fearsome being, but a compassionate attendant who tends you gently while asleep, until the morning of a more glorious day. Then you will be awakened to journey through a greater adventure with the companions of former times. Fragment 16. In death you are greater than ever you were on earth. For now the companionable spirits lament for your sake. They strike their bare flesh for you and smite upon their forearms. They tear at their hair and cast dust on their heads. Yet if they be true to themselves, they are not cast down. They are not distressed. There is a voice speaking out of the silence saying, if he goes, he shall come. If he sleeps, he shall awaken, and if he dies, he shall live. Can you be gone from us forever? No, you are not dead or lost unto us, unless by our own deeds we depart to dwell in different regions. I am not cast down. You are now in the great place beyond the everlasting stars. Oh, you have passed over the horizon of immortality and now walk erect along the path of glory. May we meet there in days yet to come. Hail, O glorious one. Fragment 17. Stand by my side, support me when I pass out from the tomb, O my guardian. Let me take your hand, stand by my side when I come before the assessors, that when I hear the verdict I may not be alone. If my eyes cannot see, then tell me of the balances, do they bear down in my favor? O guardian God, lighten the darkness for me and deliver me from the meshes of the net woven by my own deeds of wickedness and weakness. You are my strength and support. To you I have given my offerings. You I have honored above all. There I may be in distress and have none to abide with me. I may have no comforter and may be alone. Therefore desert me not in my time of trial. Stand by my side, O guardian God. If I am numbered among the distressed ones, look upon me with compassion and mercy, and if I am deserted, then sustain me with water, bread, and oil. Fragment 18. I sing words of glory unto my God, who is the great God above all gods, and the words issue from my mouth shall be exalted above all things. With them I will praise him in the sacred place, in the silence of his hidden sanctuary. They will glorify my God so that his majesty is not dishonored and he is not deserted until the day when he shall be declared before all men. With the ever loving thoughts of a devoted heart, I praise him. Even as the sun rises joyfully into the day sky, so does my heart rise towards he who gives me life and renews it day by day. He is great, he is mighty, he is glorious. He made the great river to flow, that all men in the two lands might be fed. Never wearies, it never ceases its onward flowing, it is everlastingly renewed. Even as the great river flows steadily and strongly through the barren wilderness and bestows verdant life on its way, so let the river of my life flow through the earth and eat away the sands of wickedness. Release me from my mortal fetters, loosen the heavy covering of flesh which imprisons me, which restrains me. Let me rise free into the glory above as the falcon floats freely on the wing. Let not the melody of my song be cut off while I sing, nor the story end before its completion. Keep me, O my God, from the ways of darkness, and let my spirit rejoice in the light of righteousness. Glory to you, great God, Lord of truth, whose eternal throne is concealed behind man's limitations, who issued the command that brought things into being, who made man so wonderfully that man himself cannot understand his own nature, who hears with compassion the cry of the distressed and the moan of the captive. All hail the everlasting spirit within, the real self, the seed of all thought inseparable from me. I am one who can truly call his soul everlasting, for I am one of the awakened ones, one of the few who have at long last attained the splendid vision. I have seen the bright flash of truth in the darkness of earthly existence. I am free, I am illuminated. I will sing that you may be glorified in the solitudes of your hidden places, where the eyes of the profane can never penetrate, where few men come as chosen ones. There we will sing songs of yore. We will sing of your ways and of your laws, which remain everlastingly unchangeable. Fragment 19. Heaven and the many heavens beyond heaven, earth and the many earths beyond earth are held in the thoughts and the power of God. They are as a monument to his everlasting glory. All things living that move and breathe have the place in the abode of life. Man finds the greatest joy in the eternal halls. Therefore, set not your heart on earthly possessions. Here a man may desire life for 100 years and may even attain it, but what benefit are the extended years to him if they do not exalt the soul? There is a horror-haunted region of darkness, and whoever rejects the Godward life on earth will surely dwell therein. They will go down to partake of the nature of demons, down into the darkness of delusion and doom. The soul without moving flies on wings swifter than thought. It stands behind and beyond the senses. It is the knower working within the things that are known. The spirit of man is carried down the stream of action into the ocean of life. The spirit is everlasting. It is near and it is far. It is in all and it contains all. He who sees his own self in all things and all things in his own self is awakened. He is beyond delusion and outside the reach of futile sorrow. Fragment 20. I am Haru, the enlightened one, Haru, the twice born. Having crossed the dark waters myself, I carry the others across. Being free from fear, I free others from fear. Being unrestricted, I ease the restriction of others. Knowing the way, I show it to others. Having trodden the road, I now guide others along it. I am an illuminated one, the open of ear, the keen of eye. I am one who knows the law. I am a keeper of ordinances. I shall refresh all those whose bodies are bent with toil or sorrow. I shall come to the aid of those whose souls are withered and distorted and give them strengthening substance. I shall open the eyes of many who are deluded in the heavy mists of threefold existence. Hear me, all who toil under the yoke of ignorance, who labor under the clouds of despair. I am the forthcoming one, the future one turned back. I am the spirit within the law. I am the voice of enlightenment, one who proclaims the brotherhood of all men. I am to one as to another. I am Haru. Fragment 21. O life-giving sun, handwork of God, projection of divine fire, heat of heaven, light of the day, solitary glory of the daytime, let me behold the hidden form behind your brightness, for the spirit within you is even as my spirit. Thus I may come to understand the nature of my God who commands you and to whom I pray. The fair face of the daughter of truth remains hidden behind its mask of gold. O spirit of light, draw aside the veil even slightly that I may see. Who among men is wise enough to know his own wrongdoing, or to see clearly his own errors and follies? The eyes of men are dim and the road narrow. Therefore, it is not hard to wander from the way. Therefore, O my God, keep me from all hidden wrongdoing and errors, and keep me from the power of temptations, to which I so readily succumb. I know the rebellions of my heart, and my wickedness is ever before my eyes, yet how much more do I not see? I have chafed against the restrictions of your decrees and the law. I am a foolish one who does himself an injury. I am ashamed and blush for my folly. I am a man who, when his arm does wrong, cuts off a finger. Help to make clean my heart and strengthen my spirit, that it may resist my own inflictions upon it. I believe I do right and I do wrong, for I have not listened carefully and diligently to your words written on the sacred scrolls. O my God, whom I have long worshipped with devotion, incline from the great heights of your splendor and stretch a helping hand down towards your weary servant. Trusting in you, I will depart from the pastures of sweet grass and the calm waters of restful repose, and go into the presence of the everlasting Lords. I will pass out of the dark tomb. I will arise refreshed with the outpouring of your Spirit. I will clasp your mighty hand and be guided along the path of truth. Thus I cannot stray, and the lonely places will not claim me. In confidence and trust, I will take my place before the court of assessors. Guided by your light, I shall pass safely by the place of darkness, and those who lurk shall do me no harm. My trust is in you, and I will come safely past the lurking ones. I shall be freed of all earthly weariness, and my spirit shall shine forth in glory. I will stand in the place of brightness, and the glorious ones will come bringing refreshing waters. I will not lack sweet sustenance, and delicacies shall be poured forth for me in abundance. Chapter 26 from the Scroll of Senmut. The stone bearer measures the stone, and it is trimmed and pushed into place. It is fitted, and the overseer looks upon it and says, "This stone is well laid, it remains in its appointed place." Beside it, other stones are fitted and set, each according to its own shape and design. Each has its own place and position. Then upon it are placed other stones, and so it becomes concealed from sight in the foundations of the structure. The building rises firm and strong to become the dwelling place of a prince. I am one of whom men say, "He establishes buildings which stand forever." I remember that stone deep below the ground in the base of the structure where no eye ever sees it. Men know it is there, it just remains in its place fulfilling its appointed duty, a necessity for the upholding of the building. What difference whether that stone be set upon the pinnacle, shining in the sun, ever before the eyes of men, or hidden in the ground unseen at the base. It does its duty by standing solidly in the rightful place and seeking not to change it. I who establish great buildings which will stand forever, remember that stone. Chapter 27, The Songs of Nefertari 1. I sing my song because the earth sings, though the wind is hushed among the groves, it still plays with soft melodic gaiety. The benevolent sky looks gently down, its breath stilled as it listens to the melody of the leaves. The dew smiles in the morning, for it has captured the light of love from the stars. My song is beautiful because my heart dances gladly in my bosom. Its joyfulness conveys gay music to the thoughts and places enduring words on my lips. Because I am dedicated to love, I have but one love, the beautiful container of my life. My heart is a lonely thing, ever seeking companionship with yours. It is lost to you, so let it beat in your breast, nestled against your heart, for there it surely belongs. My love is wholesome, not tainted by any residue of past affections. It is gentle and pure, therefore treat it with manly tenderness, for it is a precious treasure. I give it gladly and can give no more. That which I give to you, I can give to no other man. For you, the lovely pearl, for others, the empty shell. Let me live just for you, let me serve as your housewife. Let me hold your child to my breast. Let my eyes be gladdened by your presence each night and in the morning. Let me bask continuously in the wonderful radiance of your presence. Never let me from the source of my joyfulness and gaiety. Let us go down to the corridor of life together, your arm laid on my arm and my hand in your hand. My heart is desolation, it is like a wilted flower. You are away, my love, and my eyes search the road for your coming. The caress of sleep eludes me, for your image is ever there beside me, and I cannot find consolation with even the most comforting shadow. Come to me, my living love, that I may feel the warmth of your flesh and be at peace. While you are absent, I concern myself no more with things which give pleasure to a woman's heart. I neglect my hair arrangement, and my datum hangs disregarded. My curls are laid aside, for I await your coming to put them on and greet you in my gaiety. The song is silent on my lips, for my heart is without joy. While you are away, my heart slumbers, my bosom is empty. Come quickly, my love, that my heart may awaken and beat gladly with the pulse of life. I await your coming as the dawn awaits the sun, as the parched lands await the rising waters. My eyes search the night skies and see the mating dance of the stars. The earth about me throbs with the pulse beat of love. The dark waters reflect the mystery of life, but I sit beside them desolate. Come to me, my love, for none but you can awaken my response. I stand alone on the shore of the sea of love. Come, O come, that we may enter the enchanted waters together. Does the night long for the day as I long for you? Does the thirsty wayfarer long for water as I yearn for you? If so, then truly they are to be pitied. O come, my living love, and fill my days with sunshine of your love. It seems the ages of man have never been loveless. Chapter 28, The Songs of Nefertari 2. Life is the bearer of the most wonderful gifts. You are a man and my man, maker of my heart's butterfly flutter when my breath becomes a necklace of sighs. In your strong arms I melt as honey in the warm night waters. O man of O man and my man, great one in my maidenly eyes, the light of my life, the sun of my days, and the moon of my nights, the rock against which I confidently nestle, for to feel your protecting strength is my everlasting delight. My body yearns for you as the parched fields cry out for the caress of the fertilizing waters. How delightful the gentle hour of love with you. Oh, that I might become an eternity wherein I might sleep with you as your wife, your lifelong companion in love. In this life always yours, to serve your pleasure and be ever with you, to stand at last, my hand in your hand, together before the dream goddess in the halls of eternal joy. There those who have loved wholesomely, such as we, find everlasting pleasures. I am yours both here and there, escapable never, yours forever. Yours pure, untouched, and unsullied, I am with you first, sister in love. If at times my tongue speaks with unmaidenly boldness, then let this be forgiven me, for I am pure of heart. The words pour forth from a heart overflowing with love, and not from a tongue dipped into the shame of impure experience. I come to you with maidenly pride, as a dew-becked garden of herbs, fair flowering, sweet-smelling, and refreshing. Peace and contentment are mine to gladly give. Upon you I gladly bestow all that is precious to a maiden. You share me with no other. I honor love by bestowing what is exclusively yours. Your brow becomes hot with the body passion of man burning within, and I cool it with my womanly hand as the cooling north wind tempers the heat of the burning sands. The strength of an ox and the gentleness of a kitten are united in love. We walk together in a land of beauty, a garden of loveliness fashioned thus by the dreams we share. Hand in hand in the kingdom of men, heart in heart in the kingdom of spirit. When hearts are bound together in a love exceeding all bounds, then bodies may unite with purity and peace. We wander heedlessly about, and my heart sings with joy, for we are together. Your voice is the food of my heart, your touch the life of my body. I see you, and I am gay. You depart, and I am sad. Your glance pierces me like an arrow of fire. Your words carry me away like the surge of bitter waters over the beach. For the lover's hour we sit beneath the wild fig tree, beneath its fruits of lover's blood and its leaves of lover's eyes. Hear it whisper to our hearts, I am a maiden reserved to you in love. You are my lord, the commander of my heart. I dwell beneath your shadow and within your shadow. Oh, never leave me unshielded. My nights are restless and hot. Shall I give my love the apple of his desire, the first fruits of womanly love? Am I the wild bird snare awaiting the wild goose? Oh, my heart, how have women beyond number decided before me which answer is the true one? Oh, take me not in my weakness, lest you despise me after the manner of men and bring low the head of my father. Have manly compassion on the weakness made by my love. Degrade me not before my mother, and let not the shadow of shame fall over my father's house. Let me ever keep faith with the mother guardian of love, that when I am called before her, I shall stand in unsullied radiance. Make me not a woman of the hedgerow. Let our love bear us up in glory, up into the revealing light, where we may stand together, proud and unashamed. Let ours be a love that fulfills its appointed function in the great chain of life, something honored by men and inspiration to our children. Let it not become a flower of the field corner which withers in shame when the sunlight falls upon it. I wait, the day comes, its hours are long and extended, but with its declining you hasten to me, my man and my life. Sweet mistress of love, speed the fulfilling hour. All right, chapter 29, the Songs of Tantalip. 1. Night rolls back to reveal the promise of another day. The great sun comes up in the morning time, and the lotus opens to reveal its shining heart displayed in devotion. You come, and my heart leaps up from my breast to meet you. The wind blows and shakes the wild fig tree. You come, and your delicate perfume enwraps my spirit, and my body is shaken. I become weak within the shadow of your presence. I feel a radiance about you which calls to something within me, and I am awed by the wonder of love which can subdue all base feelings. I have seen you in the cool dew time of the morning. I passed on my way, and you were bathing in the freshening waters. I saw your pure loveliness, and all else faded and passed from me. The beauty of the morning was dim before the vision I had of you. Modest maiden of mine, clad in a white garment which clutched your supple limbs, I saw you, and my heart swelled up in joy. The breath was stopped within my throat. You looked up and smiled a chaste greeting, covering yourself in a garment expressing your maidenly modesty. Your delicate hand plucked the lily, and my heart left its cradle when you came up out of the waters and drew near. You embraced me with cool, glistening arms and open, wet lips. I savored the joys of the gods with a greater promise of unutterable joys to come before I continued on my way. That I were the fishes in the pool, that I might be so near to you twice daily. Yet I am a man and consumed in the fires of manhood in my need for you. Still, you remain veiled in reserve, and I pray to the great God for the assurance that someday my sister-in-love will be truly mine. He reserved her reserve and modesty, treasured as gifts to be surrendered in love, mean more to me than gold and pearls or the treasures of kings. What is mine, no king, no matter how great, can claim. It is love's mantle bestowed on manliness. The night comes, and I dream it is our wedding night, and you are beside me. My spirit rises on wings of joy, singing, "Oh, let my love find its ultimate expression in this night of beauty." Big dog right there. Your breath caresses me with the fragrance of heaven. Your lips dispense the heavy wine of love. Our bodies meet in ecstasy and part, but our spirits remain mingled in the greater bond that knows no severance. Our united souls share together the destiny of eternity. I sleep at last in the gentle arms of contentment. O great readers of the souls of men, see the strength of my love. Is it not untainted with base feelings? Is it not wholesome and undemanding? Is it not protective of womanly secrets? Let it endure on earth, that it may blossom in glorious fullness throughout the great ages and everlasting splendor. May it shine forever in the unwalled halls of eternity. Oh, grant me my heart's desire. All right, chapter 30, the Songs of Tantalip 2. I am one on whom the fates smile. My sister in love is the light of my life. She is the promise of love enduring, the brazier of a love undying, the hope of joy throughout eternity. The night becomes silence, for its fragrance is as nothing to her sweetness. The brightness of the dawn fades before her loveliness, and the dove hangs its head before her virtue. She breathes gently and caresses with her glance. Her skin exudes a sweet perfume, and her hair is proud and confident as becomes the guardian of secret mysteries of charm and delight. She is graceful, her robes are not stiffened, they are not of royal or white linen, and caress her softly. Her sandals are daintily bedecked with beads, and her lovely curls are clasped in a circlet of blue and red stones. Her bosom is covered with cloth of Ithaca and held by a clasp of silver. She flutters her fan with delicacy and grace. Her speech is gentle as the cool breeze. Her eyes sparkle as the moonlight waters, their deep pools enhanced with tinge of green and purple delicately applied. Men say, who is she who walks with graceful steps and lively air? The blush of the blood rose is on her cheeks. The perfume of morning sweetness breathes from her parted lips. High-spirited joy, tempered with innocence and modesty, sparkles in her eyes. Her voice tinkles like sweetly rippling waters, and from the gay cheerfulness of her tender heart, she gladdens all nature with her gentle singing. I say she is mine, my wife in waiting, and confidently know all her secret charms are for me alone. I shall be lifted in joy above all men, or cast into the abyss of despair. I wonder about her in the manner of men, and rebuke myself for my thoughts. Could such beauty ever betray love? I inhale the sweet breezes which once filled her mouth, and each day my thoughts recall her beauty. My heart longs for the sweetness of her lovely voice, fresh as the cool north wind. Her love strengthens my limbs, my heart rises from its place. Let me clasp once more the delicate hand that holds my heart. Let me feel her once again in warm embrace. I hear her name whispered on the cool night wind, and never do I hear it without my spirit responding. O my Lord, who led me in the conquest, who directed my right arm in battle and chastened my pride in victory, help me now in the time of peace. Help me when the turmoil is over. I am well skilled in the ways of war, but am a ready victim for the snares and wiles of peaceful life. Give to me my heart's desire to be the mother of my children and the companion of my life. I am burnt with passion and need the cool, quenching waters of true love. My body cries out in the night towards one so distant from me. You made me as men are made. You gave me the craving. Now grant me relief. I am alone in one when I should be two. I speak and none answers. I eat and my food lacks flavor. I thirst and none brings water. I am a sword unused. Let the sword not rust in the sheath. I await my other self. My right side desires union with my left. I wait, and I know that the waiting is not in vain. I await her coming. She is on her way, as she was from the beginning of time. She draws near, and my spirit leaps from its seat and dances from the body to meet her. I see her. She is mine, fashioned for me by the ages. Her body is made for mine and mine for hers. We are betrothed by eternity. I will keep her always for myself. I will never let her go hungry or let her live to lament her fate. We will share 7 lives together, and in each I will seek her anew. Man is too the life force and the life material. Love holds all things together, and no man can know the joys of love who shares the secret charms of his beloved with another. Chapter 31, the marriage song. O, O devotee of a love that rises above the mirror of matter and flowers and realms where romantic love is glorified. O daughter of love and sweet mistress of life, now is the hour of your fulfillment. Prepare to accept the scepter of womanhood as becomes a true maiden. Prepare to accept the burdens and pleasures of motherhood as becomes a true woman. Verily, you are a disciple of love. Earth knows no greater joy than that of contented, wedded love. Such love is a beacon light to all mankind. It guides the cavern of its journeying with a pure and sacred flame. Sweet hallowed love has a temple in the heart of every chaste maiden, and all men worship the mystery enshrined within. O resolute priestess and guardian, you are now worthy of the white crown of love. Great has been your inspiration to man. Well have you fulfilled the duty of maidenhood. Now, step forward to accept the joyful burden of womanhood, the crown that proclaims you a wife. Marriage is sanctified by ancient tradition, for it has survived the tests of time and turmoil. It has ever been the anchor of society and the shield of the family. Loveliness belongs to all women, for it is the heritage of womanhood. Beauty of the face and form is carried away by the passing years, but the beauty of heart and thought grows as the waters rise and fall. The glorious charms of modesty and purity can be possessed by any woman. Weave a mantle of contentment around your chosen mate, O gentle bearer of womanly charms. Therefore, that you are the mother. Remember that you are the mother of generations yet unborn. Maidenhood, wifehood, and motherhood, these are the phases of a woman's life. A chaste maiden becomes a good wife, and a good wife becomes a good mother. Thus it is written. May the great God whom you now worship spread his protecting wings over you, and may you enjoy the companionship of many children. May your life be enwrapped in peace and contentment, and may it be attended by the four bears of prosperity. O son of strength and goodness, remember always your obligations and duties as a husband and father. Love belongs nowhere but beside your own hearth. For what foolishness it would be for a man to expend it on one other than his wife. That which a man gives to his wife is his also. A love truly shared is joy multiplied. He who sows beside his own hearth reaps a manifold harvest. Be not harsh with your wife or impatient because of her weaknesses, for her ways are those of all women. Be gentle with her, remembering that the dart of love cannot penetrate a hard and inconsiderate heart. Love is a treasure unearthed by few. It is found by less than 1 in 1,000. Yet where it is, let it be held sacred, for it is the decree of a divine destiny, uniting one to the other in ever-increasing glory and beauty as they rise from life to life. Is not every part of the earth paired with its mate? Even heaven and earth are mated. For does not earth cherish and nourish whatever heaven lets fall? When earth lacks heat, heaven bestows its bountifully upon her. And when she loses her freshness and withers, heaven restores her freshness with gentle, soothing waters. Heaven daily goes about the task of sustaining earth. She is never neglected. Therefore, take an example from the greater sphere of life. Sustain and cherish your wife, as she never be neglected. He who sows seeds of discontent before his hearth reaps a full harvest of misery. Thus it is written by the wise one in olden times, even so it is now and always be. Chapter 32, The Lament of Nefertari. They have placed my dear Lord in the engulfing tomb. They have laid him to rest in eternal secure silence. We depart, we journey home, but home is no more. It is rent apart in a place of dull shadows. Some with me are silent and solemn. Some are weeping, some make show of weeping. Some suffer silently, some talk idly, some mask their sorrow with false mirth. It is a time of solitary heart pain. Some say it is finished, and others that he sails the sky. But I ask my soul, and it says this is not the end. It is not finished. This is the beginning, which all loving things must know as they awake to a new dawn. The years of earthly instruction are left behind. The last lesson is read. The pupil has departed to take up his appointed task. He has been born to life, and death has been left behind. There are no dead, just a departed living. Death alone occupies the silent tomb. Death is a pause at the beginning of life, a hesitation before the light of a greater day. Death is a deceiver, a non-existent thing of the shadows. From the creeping caterpillar comes the light-loving butterfly, and from the hard grain, the full-blooming barley. Who, looking at the date stone, can see therein the tree to be? Search the seed, and the plant is nowhere to be found. Even so it is with the spirit. I trust in He who gave us life and love, but I suffer because of my loss. I am alone. Where is my Lord, the one I love, the sharer in my cup of joyfulness? Where is the caressing hand, the touch that soothed, the voice that strengthened my heart in times of distress, the consoling counsel, the quiet laugh that dispelled God-given hurt? Though he has gone to glory, yet my heart shrinks, aching with solitary grief. I will keep him, that he wander not in the darkness, for he has been loved and cannot be alone forevermore. I will keep him, that he be not despaired and condemned to walk with himself, for he is a man who has loved beyond himself. He has stepped from his body as one steps from a mantle. He has left it as one leaves a discarded garment. His future is in my hands, and I shall live in such wise that none can deny our reunion. There is a subtle something, I know that ties us together still. I may be given strength never to break the loving link, which comforts me through the long night and sorrowful days. All right, chapter 33, the Scroll of Harakat. Great God of wisdom, help me in my transcription of these ancient writings, that they may be a true record, for I am not learned in letters as was Sofer. I am unskilled even as a scribe. Man is a battleground. He is torn apart in the struggle between his two selves. He dwells in the dark night of ignorance. From Ramakui of the 7 cities, land of copper, came the people of the light, and they brought with them out of their transparent temples the light that shines when darkness falls without being lit. Led by the old bald-headed one, whose name is not spoken, they came out of the west at the sun setting. They came from the place where now the sun goes down, in the days when the western wilderness was green and sand had not replaced the waters, when the outlands nourished cattle and sheep fed where now there is naught but rock and stone. The Turdinians welcomed them not, but they passed safely through the westward places to the land of Ansibaya and were succored and fed. They brought the people many things, for wise they were and learned. They were men of wisdom. Truth is not for the multitude. Dirty hands despoil fine linen. The highborn have their estates, and the lowly ones have their appointed places. Truth is not sold in the marketplaces, nor can riches alone obtain it. Few entered the great chambers to die and to live. The temples were fine shells, but the kernel was dead inside. Men lacked the food of life. The true God was guarded and hidden by the false gods. He spoke in the hearts of the wise, but the people heard the voice in the stone. Their ears were closed to all but the voices of men. Small places there were in olden times for all gods. The pillars were not yet stood up. The stones were not yet in their places, and the house of hidden secrets was not yet in the land. Then temples were built in splendor, and priests were comforted in mansions. Great gardens and fields were the property of the gods of men. They had great herds of cattle in their pastures. Within the worship and the ritual, amid the pomp enshrining the little gods, shone the light of truth, which was the revelation of the true God. It was known to few, and fewer understood it. 7 years men being chosen waited and were called. 7 years they served, and 7 years they ministered at the feet of their masters of instruction. They were passed into bleak caverns to die and know God, and called forth with the sure knowledge of truth. Thus men were made servants of the one true God. Thus they knew the truth which may not be written, for many read who are not with us in God. There are writings which speak truly, but they are no longer with us. The arisen ones know the secret of the lesser gods, who are no more than these. The great scales weigh the soul by its appearance in the nether world, and thus its place is appointed. Its virtues form its food, but no man eats the filth that is his. He who devours souls is but the dark cave of horror, which opens to receive dark souls into affinitive darkness. The Rakama watches in silence. Patiently it sits, waiting for the day of the destroyer. It will come in 100 generations, as it is written in the great vault. All men are not equal in heart and spirit. Is the southern man learned, or the Embric man brave? The land of incense bestows all good things upon its inhabitants, yet they are not great. The land of bright waters raises nothing but trees and grass, yet its people are strong, and the lion does not equal them in courage. Above are the waters of heaven, and below are the waters of the dark region, yet there are not two waters but one. There is the fire above and the fire below, yet there are not two fires but one. The Lady of Ladies is arrayed in a radiant garment. When it dims, the great trial begins. Her footsteps do not waver, her path is straight, but beware when she wavers and is inconsistent. Great mistress of the stars, let us abide in peace, for we fear the revelation of your horns. Remain ever constant as a good wife to the Lord of the day. When women are as men and inconsistent as women, the hour approaches when the great lady will wander. When man and women meet as one in likeness, the fiery heralds will appear in the darkness of the sky vault. Man twirls the drill in his hand, he is the master of fire, but the day comes when fire will leap forth from the heart of the stone and consume him. Men read the great book of the master of the hidden temple. They die and take it with them, but there is no power in their words, and who but we, the enlightened ones, know the hidden meaning? It is not for those dead to the earth who step forth in the nether world, but for those who died and remain with us. Men make offerings for their fathers after the custom of their fathers. The motions are those of their fathers' fathers, but their hearts remain locked. It is foolishness. In the first book it is written, words that do not produce deeds are as thistledown on the wind. They were better never uttered. The soul of man is as a bird that knows of a place to which it must journey, but which it has never seen, yet it departs on the appointed day. Men have gods in heaven and gods on earth, but heaven is for gods and earth for men. Thus did we write our own doom. In the secrets of the soul it is written, the soul of man is not a small thing inside him, but wraps him about. It is greater than the boundaries of the lands of the reed and the lily, and reaches out beyond the stars. To live, man must believe in his soul. Belief comes not from outside teaching, but from listening to its whispers. Unbelief comes from stopping the ears to its murmurs. Read the sacred writings diligently and hear the voice of the instructing master with receptive heart, so you may furnish your soul with nourishment, and it shall not wither from any lack of sustenance. The seed of truth came to the black fertile land in olden times and was planted in well-watered soil. Pontus was not yet born. It grew not in the light of the sun, for ignorant men would cut it down. In the dark places it flourished. Earth is a strange place, and stranger the creature who rules it. Then came the dawn of a brighter day. The tree was goodly, and its leaves filled both the land of the white crown and the land of the red crown. In a day of darkness men came, who exposed it, and the king said, "Cut it down, lest it choke us with wisdom." The tree died, but its seeds falling into the red soil lived, and from them saplings grew. They were sheltered under the strong arm of the east. Then came one who was Lord of the sweet breeze, one who had sat beneath the tree of life, and he raised up a city to the veiled truth. Over the great road it was, by the way of Lados it lay. He revealed the light of truth darkly to the people, but they were people of the night, and even its dim flame consumed them. The child of good intentions may be fair or dark. The guardians of truth covered the bright flame, and even its glow was seen no more by the people. No unlearned man again saw the light. A treasure in the hands of a few is great to teach. Shared among many, it has little value for one. We had been told the ways of men from olden times, but we heeded not the warning. Now the truth is scattered to the four quarters of the earth. Thus it was foretold it should be, therefore it is appointed. A tree scatters its seed by the thousand, yet but one may spring to life, and that may lay long in the soil. These writings have been rewritten with diligent care. They have been transcribed exactly as they are, and no thought or belief of mine has gone into them. May those to whom they come as a heritage be no less circumspect in dealing with them.